Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Markey, and as always, joined by
Charles here.
Now, we have a very special... What hotel you work at again?
The shitty one at the airport.
Yeah, straight from the shitty one at the airport. None other than the notorious Rob Walker. How you doing, Rob?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going?
For little I've known, Robbie is a giant hunter.
2 minutes.
All 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He has a small head and he lives in the boonies.
Yes.
And he brought us some Taste Treat beers this week we're going to try later.
Some succulents, yeah.
And Charles is apparently still messing with the camera.
Yeah, I'm a technical mess.
So, what I want to know is, how long have you known Charles, and how come you haven't run away screaming from him?
Oh, man.
He's so amazing.
Because Charles has so many good friends. And
How many years you got into...
I started August of 08 at that hotel.
Okay, so I was April, so just a couple months before him. And I had met Charlie. We were working midnight.
Charlie, I always find that funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Hotels.
Charles. What? Yeah, I don't. I just call him Charlie.
My family doesn't know me as Charlie. Hotel
Right
people.
I get called a bunch of different names too. Don't worry about it.
What are your parents call you?
there.
Robert?
Adopted.
Yeah. Golden child. No, I'm kidding. They'll call me Rob, Robert. A couple people call me Bob. Whatever.
Bob?
Yeah,
Bobby?
Bob. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't mind it. Yeah.
The one I always got a lot of people over the years have called me Mark.
Huh?
Yeah.
They just picked a name?
Mark. I don't know. If they just.
You look like a Mark.
Yeah. It's like
Change
a Mark.
your face.
Yeah. So they're going to change my whole identity. That's the one I've always gotten. And then, are you done fidgeting?
I don't know, man. I broke this GoPro.
Refurbished is the word.
We could sell you that GoPro for your turkey.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it works 60% of the time, all the time, right?
Now, what Charles told me is you are a fellow comic nerd.
Oh, yeah.
See, you. So when
He gets mad at me when I go, I'm not into it. I'm not just as bad as you.
I'm used to it.
I
Charles
bite
is a
my
dick.
tongue. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I watch.
Steve gets annoyed.
I'm all into it. Netflix, Marvel shows, the Marvel movies, DC. I even like DC.
Yeah.
I'm even looking forward to Hellboy coming out here in a couple months.
I'm very interested as well.
Yeah, got into Umbrella Academy recently. So
Ooh.
So you'll fit right along with me.
He goes, he loves all the Avenger movies.
And I'm dying to see Godzilla this summer. I do love a
that's-
giant monster
That's
movie.
another one I do want to see.
Yeah, anytime a building gets crushed by a giant lizard, I got to see that.
Can't go wrong.
So yeah, I know you're into that. Now, you have your favorite hobby outside of comic books is hunting?
Pretty much.
Where's your hunting spot? Where you have a shanty anywhere or something?
A
hunting shanty?
You're not supposed to give that a location away.
I will not give the
general
exact
city.
coordinates, but it's probably about 18 miles northwest of Cadillac, Michigan. I don't know if you know where that is. Or...
Where's Cadillac again?
Okay, yeah, 37 miles away from Traverse City. How about that?
Okay, there we go.
I'll give it to you.
That's where your parents live, right?
Well, they're in Cadillac right now, yes, yeah. But they're building a house out there, so.
But now, where did he grow up at?
Detroit. Well, there's a little story behind that, which is my mom's parents were kind of like city/farm folks, but my dad's parents, they were
Translation hillbilly.
They were southern, yeah, they were West Virginia southern, hunting and fishing kind of guys. So yeah.
And so you grew up around it. My grandfather's got a place. I don't know if Charles told you, up in Roscommon.
I tend not to mention that.
Close
I
to
think he's had some bad experiences.
Yeah,
there.
close to Grayling up there. That's where most of our family goes hunting up in that Camp Grayling, stuff like that.
All right.
So yeah, we've been around. Me and Charles are the most non-hunters of our whole family.
Yeah, he's talked about that. I know that he loves to go shooooting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know
That's fun times.
You don't even. You've never had a hunting license. Like I've gone to hunter training courses.
Never
I've
done
done
any
all
of it.
that.
No.
I went hunting one time. I killed a squirrel. I think is as far as I went. It was a gray squirrel. We ate it that night. It was terrible. I threw it out. So I'm never eating squirrel again. It's gross. What are your thoughts on eating squirrel?
I've had it. It's what I had was delicious. It was like a stew or something like that. So it's like you have a lot more going on than just the specific, the meat.
We ate a squirrel that was done up like a barbecued chicken.
Oh yeah,
we were eating the truck. Terrible. It was gross. It was like made of rubber.
Eat around the tail, don't you?
Yeah,
okay.
Awful.
So hunting and fishing.
That's a little rough. Yeah.
He goes to like random. You go to that fishing tournament every year.
Yep, I do a fishing. I do the
It's pretty
FI
intense,
Classic.
all right.
And that's up in Alpena. Well, it's Hillman, but it's like probably half hour from Alpena or something like that. So that's a lot of fun for me. I don't,
Bass fishing, bass tournament?
Bass and pike, yep, northern pike.
Oh, he's into that shit. He starts talking about it.
I've caught some good fish, man.
The one thing I've always said when I retire, that's what I'm going to take up is fishing, because you can just sit on the dock and sleep.
You could sit in a boat and
you don't need to fish to do it.
Yeah, that is true. But you could be outside.
You could get a pontoon and just anchor up and just take a nap.
Get me a big old dog, sit next to me and sleep. I don't mind fishing, actually. I've always kind of liked it.
I like casting it and shit like that, but as soon as I go to catch something, I'm like, I'm not into this.
You don't want to take it off the hook?
It's fun to whiz that thing out there, admittedly.
The only thing I hate is when the fish swallows the bait all the way down to his like asshole, and you got to get in there with a pair of pliers.
I've got a set of needle nose pliers that are about a foot long.
Hold on.
And I've never had one swallow the bait like the hook that far. I usually use like lures. I don't use just a single hook with just a worm.
Now, do you use the fish finder and all that stuff too?
No.
That's considered cheating, right? Is that what
no. There's people that use it. I just don't have the money. Yeah. My fish finder is my fishing rod.
Now, what's your stance on ice fishing? Is that a thing?
I've never done it, and it terrifies me.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
It terrifies me being on ice.
Yeah, I don't
at
mind.
any moment it could just go right through.
Well, at least you're kind of tiny. I mean, imagine 300 plus pounds standing on ice.
I
don't want to do that at all. But we got a guy we do the website for. Walleye King, and he takes tours up to Saginaw Bay, ice fishing, and he'll take you out. I mean, miles out. Like, you get on one of his snowmobiles. You pay him so much money. Mm-hmm. Yep. He drives you out to fishing shanty with his little hole, and you sit there with him just...
There's no way.
No, not...
Near. I'll take you out to my fishing spot. No thanks. I'll find my own.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, are you married?
I'm engaged.
Oh, he just got engaged not too long ago.
Really?
And I was really supportive of his decision to do it.
As two married men will give you some advice. Run. No,
exactly. That's what I told him. What are you doing?
I get that a lot. Fine. It's weird. No,
if it's not broke, what are you doing?
Yeah. Just have a lot of dull knives in your house.
Oh, there you go. No.
How long have you known the girl? He doesn't know.
Let's see.
You're supposed to know that immediately.
Oh man, over 19 years.
What?
Well, you've known her, but how long? I guess my brother's insinuating how long have you been with her?
Yeah,
I guess I should say
5 years. It's been 5 years. Yeah,
and you guys have lived together for most of that at this point because you bought that house.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's another Bert. He lives in Waterford.
And works
at the airport.
That's a trip.
That's a 40-minute drive.
No, it's an hour and 10 minutes. But
you're putting some miles. You ain't leasing.
Oh no. I got an Escape out there. Yeah,
it's got your exact car.
Yeah. That thing's awesome, man. I love that.
It's built
thing.
for his size. It ain't
Heck
built
yeah.
for my size.
No. You should have upgraded.
Yeah. So Waterford, you're driving out. You're engaged. Life's good. You get to work with this crabby fuck.
His woman literally works right over here.
Oh yeah.
Michigan. Yeah, so they both live or work way out
and they
there.
drive an hour every day to work.
Yeah.
I hate that. I got a 20-minute drive and I go insane. I can't imagine an hour.
We talked about getting an apartment out here, so that way when the weather's bad, one of us could, if we didn't feel like driving in it, we could.
Or she can bang her boyfriend.
Hey, listen, as long as I'm alone and I can watch my cartoon, comic book movies, I'm good. I don't need no judgment.
He's got to watch Umbrella Academy. Can't have her talking through it.
Actually, she watched that with me and loved it. She goes,
so you watch that too? I didn't even bring it up.
It's good. I
got some thoughts on that one.
Yeah, a lot of times what happens is at work when I go and do my round, when I'm pretending to work, walking around with a clipboard, he's down in purchasing, so he's like. What would you call it, Rob? So, you handle, he unloads the trucks, essentially.
So, pretty much, I'm a stock boy.
Shipping and receiving type
Yes,
of
exactly.
So, I always wander through his, because I got to check the walk-ins and stuff like that, and write stuff down. Yeah. That's all I do.
Unclog a toilet.
Yeah. So, he's down there, and we end up BSing a lot in the morning time, and then we end up comparing notes and all that kind of stuff, and that's where it always ends up going. I haven't asked you about the umbrella.
It's like our 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's important stuff.
Yeah, it is.
We gotta find a water cooler for you to stand next to.
And then when people come up to me with work stuff, I get annoyed.
Hey Charlie, look at this. I'm in the middle of a conversation. Can you give me 5 minutes, please?
But anyway, that's when Rob always tells me, so you and your woman went on an IVF for an in vitro trying to get pregnant, right?
Yes.
Now, can I ask why you're doing this before marriage?
Because the clock is ticking, gentlemen. Listen, this is a time bomb.
Well, I thought you. How much? What is your age?
I'm 35.
Oh, see, I would have guessed 29.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
18.
That's why he
Barely
shaved.
legal,
he doesn't have gray in his
It's
beard
'cause
yet.
he's
I got a
small.
gray pad.
I do have a little bit of white in there.
Yeah.
It's just
Very,
now
very
starting
rare.
to pop. Yeah.
You just assume ogre size. That's what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. He's a halfling. He ages way slower than we do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Frodo and them, they lived to like a couple hundred years old.
He just had third breakfast. He's good. Yeah. So there's two different things. So there is an IUI and an IVF. So the IUI is where they take my guys and give the turkey baster.
Yeah, they launch it straight into the goalpost.
The IVF, what they do is they take her egg, put it in a petri dish, and then give me, and then
Which one are you doing?
we did the IUI because the IVF is like
That's when you end up with the Octomom, because I give you crap in the
Yeah,
morning all the time.
which-
like, he's gonna have a litter of kids, man.
oh yeah, which that was a whole thing. Like we went with a different doctor now, and they're like, were they out of their minds? Like, yeah, you could have ended up with like 8 kids,
So
and like
good.
I go,
You know how much fun I would have had at work? If he
oh
had,
my
like, 6
god,
kids?
dude,
He'd be sleeping at work.
I'm
What
like,
are you
dude,
talking
Steve,
about?
this dude at work had like 6 kids.
yeah, in one shot.
Oh my god. So you guys are holding off now, right? Because I was talking to my wife about it before. It's like super expensive because like it's
Yes,
so
yes.
extra money. And my wife's convinced like insurance cover that.
Not all insurance cover.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was telling
cover
my wife. I'm like,
fertility issues. Like now that we have like the Affordable Care Act, like some stuff has changed, but like not a whole lot. But they don't really cover. Like her insurance will cover maybe like 40% or 50% of some of the stuff. But yeah, like out of pocket, the shots were like anywhere from $140 to $180 a week.
What was the shot doing?
It was basically preparing her body like in eggs
To receive,
to release.
Yeah.
Because she has PCOS, which is she's
There's
having
so many initials being
Yeah,
thrown
I
out
know.
right now.
Yeah, well, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome or disorder, however
That's
it's.
3 times real fast.
Yeah,
There's a test on this at the end of the podcast.
I memorized it because I said it all the
So,
time.
but that lends her to having a difficult time conceiving.
Yeah, so maturity of eggs, there's an issue with that. She gets like little cysts on the eggs, which cause problems. So it affects other stuff like weight, body hair.
Your chick growing a mustache, dude?
No. I'm just saying, like, in some women it occurs.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not saying it happens in every woman.
Oh, okay.
So we went with the IUIs because the IVFs were like 10 grand.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jesus.
And that's not guaranteed.
So imagine you spend 10 grand to
Yep.
have 6 kids, and now you got to take care of 6 kids.
So
Sounds brutal.
I can't remember who I talked to, but they were like, I know a guy who did 4 or 5 of the IVFs.
At 10 grand per?
Yes, and finally they were able to conceive, only to be divorced in 3 years after that.
Wow. So now he's on the hook
so
for
40, 50 grand, man, that guy spent.
to get pregnant.
Yes.
And now he's
then-
paying
So,
child support.
all right,
That's
so yeah, so the
crazy.
shots were about 140 to 180, and then the actual IUI procedure was around $700 a pop, and we did 2 or 3 of those. And it was
And nothing worked, right? We're not.
No,
you
it
don't
did.
have a big announcement.
No,
here today.
there was no succession. So yeah, we're like, we need to dial it back, take care of our bills, and then we'll go
Yeah.
in a couple
For
months.
round
and
4 or
and yeah,
whatever.
now,
Jesus.
like I said, we have a new doctor, so they're trying to get her thyroid right and all this other stuff.
So they're saying take care of a few other things before we go back down into
Yes,
this
yeah,
arena.
especially physically for her and financially for us. So yeah, talk about like. October was a very, very stressful month, as well as November was. To have all that going on, and then I'm trying to, go back and forth between hunting. I had to actually leave in the middle of my rifle trip to come down and, bang one out in a cup for her, and then I drove back up.
Did you have the
this-
24-hour rule? I don't think I talked to you about that.
The 24-hour rule.
Like when
where
you had to like crank into a cup and then immediately get it to the doctor's office, or were you doing it in the doctor's office?
I was going to the doctor's
that's what it
office because it was
was,
on the way
yeah.
home from work. So it was
in
like,
the doctor's office.
yeah, dude, every time, dude. I never did one at home, so I was, I was always like, how long should I take? Like, should I slow down? Like, a lot of thoughts are growing. It was
in and out in
weird.
20 seconds.
Yeah. Not a complaint here.
They got a
you know?
stopwatch.
Yep.
Me and you've talked. When are you supposed to get married again?
Oh, we haven't even set a date. It
I
was
thought
supposed
you
to be
were
about
looking for
2021.
venues, yeah.
Yeah, we did look at a venue.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. That's what we were looking at.
I told them to put a longer tail
Yeah.
on that. Like, a few more
Holly
years.
graduates in 2022.
Yeah.
Who comes first? His
Well,
wedding or
he's
Holly's
got
graduation?
You have a son, a 14-year-old son, the same age as Holly.
Actually, he's 17.
Oh, jeez, I
Oh,
thought.
wow.
Yeah, he's
I-
17
oh,
years
Jesus
old.
Christ.
You're
Yeah.
losing track of time.
Dude, I
you did
told- I'm
that
becoming
about something
dad.
else the other day, too.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I have no concept.
Alzheimer's is set.
No, it's just I got to that age where it's just
So
Groundhog Day.
you have a 17-year-old. Is he graduating this year? Already graduating?
No. He's a junior.
okay.
He's had some issues with school, turning in his assignments. He does them, which blows my mind, but he just doesn't turn them in. Okay, so we decided to go. We exhausted all options trying to help him out.
Do the work with the...
Get him. Yeah, I did all the work. Still didn't turn it in. No, but we decided to go with homeschooling, and he's testing out of classes and recovering some of his credits, which is good. So he actually might graduate on time, which should be 2020.
Wow.
So
Outside of grades and stuff like that, what is he obsessed with? See, we have a regular, which is my daughter. She's 14,
Okay.
going to be 15. And being a teenager, me and Charles get to look into the teenage life. I mean, his wife sees it every day. We don't get to see that.
Yeah.
Is he obsessed with Nike and Apple products as much as my daughter is?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
Like
Maybe
my
it must be a girl thing.
My son does have a phone, and he did say something like, I need to get a new phone here. We just haven't got one, gone to go get one or whatever." Which my son has always been like real good and responsible with his phones. Never broke them, lost them, or anything like that. So we've never had an issue with getting him one or whatever. But he's not really obsessed. Like, I have to have the new iPhone, or I will seriously die. Nothing of that. Yeah.
Steve's
my
daughter's
life.
collecting pop cans
Yeah.
as we speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I gave her an Android. I insulted her.
Slap in the face.
Yeah. What am I supposed to
Seriously?
do with this? I don't know. Call
Seriously?
people?
Yeah. Is this a walkie-talkie?
Yeah. What is this?
Is
So
this a
I was
Nextel?
just wondering if other teenage kids. So what I found out though, most of them are like Christopher, our nephew, is obsessed. Like I told you, I have an HP laptop.
Oh, yeah, he capped on
HP
you.
was not good enough. He had to go out and get Microsoft Surface or Apple. That's the only two we could have. So yeah, good luck paying that extra couple grand, you idiot.
Just for
Yeah,
that plaque.
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever. My daughter's the same way though. So now. Rob brought in some taste treats. Charles.
Yeah, so he brought a mix 6, and there's a Muskegon brewery called Pigeon Hill, apparently.
Yep. Some guy, like, I was looking, because I was like, I've got 6 minutes to get here,
Oh,
so I'm like
okay.
rifling through, and he was like, "Oh, you like porters, huh? Why don't you give this a shot?" He goes, "This is pretty good." I go, "I've tried a twisted pretzel one from I can't remember who it was, but
Yeah.
I was like, I'll give it a shot. Why not?"
So this is a salted caramel porter from Pigeon Hill. I figured we'd try this one out. What's weird to me, though, is this really must be craft brewed because this is literally a sticker on a can. It's not a printed can.
Yeah.
You
It's
can
a-
feel
what?
the sticker on it. Yeah. So
Wow,
I don't
that's
know.
some homemade
That's a really
stuff right
crafty
there.
brewed deal.
Yeah.
Where'd you pick this up at?
That the Kroger, right on Michigan Ave.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Like I was like, I gotta find like a beer store or something because I want to bring something, and I'm like, there's Kroger. So I jumped over a lane and ran in and grabbed a couple I've already tried and know are good. I didn't know if you guys had tried them or what. So
Have you heard about our adventures in
Yeah,
celebrity?
I've just-
liquor?
I've seen a little bit. I watched the gin. That
Dude, gin is
that
so gross.
yeah. The only time I've drank gin is with Squirt, and it wasn't too bad. But then again, you're mixing. You're covering up that taste. If you're drinking it straight, oh hell no, not it.
It doesn't taste very beery. It's kind of weird. That is super
almost
weird.
tastes like coffee.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a porter. Like it's like a caramel
Yeah.
You get the hint of like it's almost like
like a dessert
like
beer.
a chocolate twisted
weird.
pretzel. Yeah.
It's just gonna mess with your type 2. It's awfully sugary.
Nah, it should be fine.
Tastes really good. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's not bad. I've had way worse.
Yeah, these are like you can only drink like a 1 or 2 kind of thing back to back, and then switch to something light.
To be honest, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like I like porters that like they're a little bit on the darker side, but they're not the stout to the Guinness. You know what I mean? Like it
Stouts
almost
are terrible.
It's almost a step above like your Sam Adams, like your Boston Lager kind of you know craft beer stuff.
I think it tastes pretty good. I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah,
I mean, compared to other liquors we've had on the show,
dude,
I would drink this again.
yeah, dude. So yeah, I'd give a thumbs up to Pigeon Hill's salted caramel.
Yeah, I like
porter.
it. Yeah,
Rob, Steve.
Pigeon Hill, want to be a sponsor of the podcast?
Yeah, you can send us some T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, I'll wear them everywhere. Yeah.
Extra medium for me.
Yeah, pay for my tattoo. I'll get it on my leg. I'll wear it the rest of my life. What happened to people doing that? Do you remember that? Like in the early 2000s, I want to say people were like having like Nike tattooed on their bodies
First
as
of
like
all, any idiot that would get a logo
as an advertisement. But they were paying these people to do this.
I didn't know they were paying for it. I just
Yeah.
think idiots were doing it for
No.
I remember the boxers used to have like Golden Palace written like
I
permanent
was gonna say,
marker
but that
on
was just
their
like
back.
marker, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it would wear off throughout the event.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. Pigeon Hill salted
So what's
caramel
the other
porter.
flavors?
Oh, he's in now.
Keep going, Steve?
Yeah,
Let's try one more.
Yeah, he goes.
Let's find out
Let's
because
not-
Rob brought a pick 6 here.
Yeah, let's surprise us with one more. We're not gonna sit here and just watch people. let
That's
people-
one of my faves, number 9, as well as my.
What
that's
is
another.
that?
That's another porter. That's a coconut porter.
Change that one here. An IPA, I'm not drinking.
That's an IPA?
Yes, it's an IPA.
shit.
Gross.
Shit,
the 9?
that one's a light.
All right.
Yeah, that one's a
let's try
good
this
one.
So it's a Magic Hat brew. It's pretty relatively popular.
Yeah.
Popular. They keep this at the hotel and all
Yep.
this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So this is their number 9, not quite a pale ale. Let's try this one.
Oh, that is not a pale ale at all. No, sir. Like I said, I remember when they first came out with that. It was, I'd say I was in my earlier 20s when I found it, and I'll just take the bottle or whatever and pour it myself. And this is one of my faves. It's a light, but it's actually
I want less.
I don't think it's an actual light beer. It's 5.1.
Ah, see, this has got too hoppy for me.
Really?
Hoppy. It tastes like a salad. Salad.
I don't know. I mean, it's all right. What a salad?
It gets like weirdly like vegetable-y. I don't like hoppy beers.
Which I get.
What's the IBUs on that? Does it say?
Oh,
If it's above 20, I'm out.
2. If it's above 2, I'm out.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't say.
All right.
Maybe I'm just missing it. Or,
What do you think of that?
It's not bad. I didn't mind it.
I'll definitely take the caramel salted
Here.
porter relative to.
Yeah, I'd probably pick the caramel one over
Yeah.
that one, but
Yeah.
that tastes like a normal light beer. I mean, nothing out of the normal. Thought it was okay.
So yeah, that's Magic Hats Brewing, number 9, not quite pale ale.
I tell you what, though, I wouldn't pay extra for it. Like if a
The
Bud
juice
Light,
tax, the craft
if Bud Light was $2 and that
Yeah.
was $3.50,
Rob
I'll
got a
go
bunch
with the
of Bud Light
Light.
down by his foot right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I brought
he's
some
the king of Bud
platinums.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I got
I get-
shirts. I got
Our
boxers.
diehard friends rip on me all the time for just drinking regular American beer. I'm sorry, I like
You know
Bud Light
what?
or Miller Light.
You know
sorry,
what?
Coors
I-
Light.
loves
It's
Bud Light.
it's
Always
because I can drink it all day. I could drink it all night.
Well, platinum's the higher alcohol content, correct? Yeah.
So there you go, our taste test of random beers. The caramel, not bad, and the other one, number 9, not bad either.
I'll take the caramel. I don't like the hoppiness.
Really?
I figured you'd like the porter. It's got a little
Yeah.
bit of the malty.
I much prefer less hops.
Yep.
All right, so now let's forget this taste testing stuff. Let's talk about comic book stuff.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm gonna
start
turn my
talking
mic
about-
off. real quick.
So I started this week. I haven't finished it. I assume, Rob, you finished Umbrella Academy?
Yes, I actually ran through it twice.
Jesus.
Well, what it was I didn't know if my fiance would enjoy it, so usually I run through something and I'll be like, maybe I'll suggest it to her or whatever, and I did, and I go, well, let's give it an episode, and she did. She goes, all right, well, let's keep going. I go, okay. I go, let me know if it's something you're just not into it.
It looked good. It looked like a new form of X-Men. I do like that newer X-Men, the new class stuff. I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. I've made it through 4 episodes. I haven't finished quite like Rob, but my initial
not twice. Like,
I haven't watched it.
He also doesn't have cable for the record.
I'm a huge movie and TV fan. Like, I will run through multiple movies multiple times.
I
seasons, like galore.
I'm more movies.
You'll watch. I was gonna say, I don't think I've heard you multiple
Not TVs,
seasons.
No, TV's
I've never heard you
one and
do
done on
that.
TV.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've ran through The Office several times. Like, cover to cover. Like,
I'll catch them on like TBS and reruns, and might sit through.
Like you said, put on a King of Queens episode.
Yeah, something like that.
Go,
But I'm not going to pull out like the Battlestar Galactica DVDs and watch season 1 through 5 over and over again.
Every once in a while, I get that itch. I do. Battlestar Galactica, I get the itch.
Yeah. Now, do you have to
know.
wait for the wife to go on vacation for something like that?
I do.
Or
Like
you
Steve
squirrel
and I
away?
are very similar in the basis of like we love to like put something on. You might be doing something.
Oh yeah,
check on. You know what I mean? Like
background.
that's a big thing.
Yeah, like white noise almost. Yeah,
we do
I
that
agree.
all the time.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
So my initial thoughts on Umbrella Academy, and I'll let Rob take it after since he finished it. 4 episodes in, the things I really like the soundtrack. It sounds weird. There's some really I think I told you there's some,
Is there hits on it?
Yeah,
Like that?
Queen.
Oh, yeah.
There's some punk rock stuff you weren't expecting, Ramones, stuff like that. And it's really like they really mix it in right when it should be mixed in, and it's pretty good like that.
So let me pause you from. So this is an image-based comic, correct?
No,
This is
Dark Horse.
Dark Horse comic.
Yes, it is a Dark
That
Horse
now
comic.
they're Netflix. It's an original Netflix that they're bringing in.
Yes,
and like I said,
they're
it's
buying
akin
that
to an
until Dark Horse makes their own app and takes it away from them.
Dark Horse stream.
Yeah, Dark Horse Stream is coming in 2019.
You set it up. You kind of gave me the gist of it. There was people miraculous of 47.
I was wrong on the number. I think it's 43. How many girls get pregnant?
43?
Somewhere in the 40s.
Okay,
I think it's 40.
nonetheless,
it's
40 plus people
Yes.
automatically got pregnant.
In the 80s. Yeah.
Okay, and then now we have a band of misfits coming together that are of this group.
An old eccentric old guy
This is
tried
millionaire, dude.
to billion whatever he is.
Yeah, whatever. Yep.
They haven't really covered him much in the first 4 episodes. I don't know if they're going to cover him later, but yeah, he bought the babies. He bought 7 of them. The other parents told him to screw off.
Okay,
But he got 7 of them. And just like X-Men, they were just born with powers.
now does society know they have the powers? Or is it an X-Men thing of like mutants versus humans thing?
No, well,
they
there's no
kind of bring it
outcry.
out, though. They do, like, introduce it in the first episode. You see them as children stopping a bank robbery.
Yeah, they all have these weird masks on with white eyes when they're kids. Huh. I don't understand the point of that.
You know,
they all look like Robin running around.
It's either that or actually it looks like Spider-Woman's, like actual eyes, I would say.
So they're kind of like a superhero group when they're young and teenagers. And then when they get older, they realize the dad's kind of a dick, and they all just take off, except for one of them. The dude with the super strength who ends up being melded with an ape. I don't know what happens there.
Okay.
He goes on a mission and almost dies, and they bring him back, and they put ape serum in him somehow.
Some kind of serum, I don't know if it was ape serum or what it was. But
who are they? I guess this band of 43 or whatever, or that you said of 7 or what? Who are they battling against?
Just common criminals and stuff. There's no. That's the one knock I have on the show.
There's no super villain.
There's
So-
no Magneto.
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Yeah.
You're only 4 episodes in, so
They'll
it's
start to
kind of
unfold
hard.
it.
But, okay, so he sought out certain kids that showed abilities.
A certain aptitude
Yes.
relative to the other one?
So that's what he went for, and that's why he purchased them. Okay, the rest of them didn't have abilities. That's
they
why
have abilities that not are fitting his mold, or I thought they were all
No.
special.
they're all all 7 of them are special. Yes,
Except for
he
one.
sought out all 7 of those kids for a certain reason. Okay, and that's the kids that he bought. He didn't try to buy any other ones, I don't think. But then again,
I thought he tried to buy all.
as you were saying, they really don't go into his character and the background of that. Really, it's a very like cut scene, like hurry, rush through like a background thing, with that.
And one of the 7 he did adopt has no power. She just plays the violin. That's Juno. That girl plays Ellen Page.
Ellen Page. Yeah.
I kind of am intrigued, if I'm honest.
It's
I'm
a
not.
very quirky X-Men.
Okay.
How many episodes is it?
10 or 13.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. That's what they usually go for. I would compare it almost to a Watchmen-esque like mentality. Like it's not your normal super.
I didn't like the Watchmen movie. And
Superhero stuff. Like it's got some messed up, like some real life stuff in there. It's not like
an example. One of the characters, he can see the dead people.
Klaus. His name's Klaus,
and of course he's a drug addict on top. Of it. So they kind of cover that. So it's a little darker than your average Marvel / DC.
Yes,
that's why I say it's kind of a quirky X-Men.
I think I gotta check this out.
Yeah, it's unique. It's a little unique.
Yeah.
It does borrow from X-Men and stuff, but it still does its own thing.
Visually, it looks amazing. It looks like good Netflix stuff.
I don't know. By the end of the show, there's only like 3 settings.
Okay.
They're at the academy. They're at this donut shop over and over again, and then they're at this hotel.
Speaking of the donut shop, okay, Cha-Cha, the character Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
Did you recognize her?
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, that's cool.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
She does a really good job. Like
Mary J. Blige has acted in stuff before, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but I didn't know like the caliber like she was. Mm-hmm. You know, like I just had seen her sing and do a couple of acting things or whatever. Like I sat in on this and I was, an outside looking in, I felt like, and I was like, wow, like she's actually doing a really good job. I feel it's believable. It's
at this point, 4 episodes in, she's her and her partner are the only villains. They dress like they're from Men in Black, and they're after one of the Academy kids. They don't really say why.
5.
Yeah, number 5. None of the kids have names. They just have numbers. Well, they have names, but they all call each other numbers.
So I guess he watched it already through twice. I'm assuming you love it. What I mean, are you lukewarm on it, or are you definitely intrigued?
A little more than lukewarm. I want to finish it. I find it entertaining. Do I think it's better than the Marvel shows they had? No.
No. I would not even.
I think Punisher and Daredevil are up here. This is here.
Yeah.
And then the other rest of Marvel down below. But
I would definitely agree on that.
But it's something different as far as comic books go. So it's not your standard cut and dry comic book thing.
Yeah.
I wish they would develop the villains a little better. I don't know what their motive is.
Are they going for more gray area stuff?
Yeah,
is that what they're trying to do?
It's almost like Heroes type thing where you don't really know the villains.
Something's up with that, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
As far as he's in, he knows that the world is ending.
Yeah.
He doesn't know why or how.
So they flesh that out.
But it is ending. So one of the 7 go into the future. He can travel. He can teleport, but he can also go through time as well as pause time or fast forward or rewind or whatever. So he basically goes to his father and tells him, he wants to go to the future, and his dad says, "You're not ready. There's so many possibilities, so many." You step on a bug,
sounds interesting.
Whatever.
It
is. It seriously is.
He's like a time traveling.
I definitely,
as your brother said, it's not your normal superhero. Like these individuals are very disturbed. They're depressed.
But that's kind of like you said. Like that's more that Watchmen kin.
It is. It's a little bit darker.
A superhero with that weird edge, and you're like, what's
the
that
only
about?
difference I would separate the two is yes, they're both in a darker way. But the Watchmen, it was just, completely dark. This one, it actually kind of humanizes them in a way to where, like, you could almost relate. Like, Klaus, he struggles with depression, and, when it comes to his powers or whatever, he's scared. Because, dude, he sees dead people. He talks to dead people.
Let me ask, so if another season of this comes up, obviously you're in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're going to finish through.
Which they did announce a second season.
It sounds like they don't have much options, is what Steve's always chronicled on the podcast.
Of course, because, all the Marvel stuff's dropped. Yes, it'll still be on their streaming, but... who knows what's going to happen with that? And this is Netflix way of going. Okay, well, we don't have that, but we got this
until Dark Horse streaming comes.
Yeah, Dark Horse streaming, they're going to rip it. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the first season in that, Rob?
Oh, I'd probably give it like at least a good 7.5, a good solid 7.5.
Yeah,
and Steve, you're in that boat.
Right now, it might get better by the time I finish the season.
I feel it will be. I feel it will. You're a comic book guy, so
yeah.
I feel that you will succumb to it.
That's a weird statement.
Because
Be
some
part of the mind hive.
well, my thing is, it's like certain comic book stuff, appeases to me, whatever, and certain stuff, I really have to let it kind of rub off on me a little sometimes.
I'm not too big into the independent, quirky shit.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like Jessica Jones. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like
that was
show
tough.
Didn't like her character.
The first season, because she comes off as a bitch, a raging bitch, and it's like, dude.
And she's another one that's a superhero but hates being a superhero.
Yeah, she's an anti-hero.
Like
Instead of
she's
being
an
like a
anti-hero.
Zachary Levi Shazam,
Yeah,
like, this is amazing.
Yeah, she's an
hate shows.
anti-hero.
It's like, you're awesome with superpowers and you hate it and just want to get drunk.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, I know. Oh, darn, I can lift a car.
I'm
oh.
a god. Shucks.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I hate that. And that's all Jessica Jones is.
Mm-hmm.
And then she bangs Luke Cage somewhere in there.
Yeah, breaks a bed and call it a day.
Yeah, so I'm not
Sounds like a regular Monday. No.
I'm more of the old school. Let's Batman, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
When they get some of that independent stuff can get a little off the rails, quirky, and
Which you know what, they could have went with a different actress maybe lightened it up just a tad because she was a little rough around the edges a little bit
You
too
talking about the
much.
Jessica Jones shit?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter anymore, though, does it?
This is true.
Yeah,
This is
it
very
doesn't
true.
matter anymore.
First season, it was slow. I had a hard time with second season. I was able to warm up to the character a little bit. The plot was a little bit better, but it was still just real dry, man.
I'm assuming you collect comics back in the day.
Yeah, yep.
So how many Jessica Jones issues do you own?
None.
I should say Alias.
Because you want to know what? She wasn't even invented then.
Yeah,
when I was
She was
collecting,
in the 90s.
I was 80s, man, like 80s,
well.
I went up
She
to.
came out in Alias. Alias was the name of the comic.
Yeah, see, no, I never got into that.
All right, so
really.
anyway, my head hurts from this comic book crap.
Okay,
Next.
there you go. Umbrella Academy. Check it out. Quirky.
It does sound intriguing to me. I'll be
Yeah.
honest
Give it a
with
shot.
you. Yeah, I might have to check
Give it
it
a
out.
shot, yeah.
Steve will chronicle. I'm all things Netflix.
Yeah.
You know from listening to me, I'm all things Netflix.
Of
Charles,
course.
talk about a sponsored tattoo. Charles has one on his schwanz.
Ooh.
It's a very small tattoo on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go next. He's kind of a comic book kind of hero.
Yeah.
Robinhood with the guy from the Kingsman.
Egerton or something?
Egerton,
Yeah,
yes.
Ethan
Jamie
Egerton
Foxx.
or something like that is his name.
And the guy from Rogue One that played the villain. I can't think of his name. He's
You always
pretty
bring that
popular.
up because you love Rogue One.
I love Rogue One.
Anything
Rogue
we-
One and Solo. I'm going to promote that forever. Screw that. They were both good movies. But anyways. But you know what wasn't a good movie? Robin Hood. This movie wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't even give it a shot.
I'm still gonna check it out. I told you it was on the short list of
can't.
things I wanted to watch.
Did you see the King Arthur movie?
the Charlie Hunnam King Arthur movie?
Came out about 2 years ago.
No,
the
I didn't.
guy from
Guy-
Sons of Anarchy,
Guy
Jackson.
Ritchie.
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Oh,
no.
well. It's very close to that one.
Yeah.
They tried to
So
modernize
you,
Robin
wait,
Hood.
so this just came out on Blu-ray and you
Yes.
picked it up.
Yeah, I rented it and watched it. Like I said, I was telling Charles before, they didn't go with the time period. Everyone's dressed like they're from 2005. Yeah. Everyone's clean cut. Everyone's got short haircuts.
There's no grit to it.
There's no grit to it.
Yeah.
Now that's one thing about the Russell Crowe version where I didn't care for that one either, but at least it looked of the period.
Oh yeah, the timeline
it did.
was good. Yeah,
This one doesn't.
Steve saying everyone's got like a fade cut.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie Foxx was Little John, and he was like when they went to the Crusades, they were going through like tunnels with bows and arrows, like they were in Afghanistan in modern times with machine guns.
it was John Wick with bows.
Yeah, it was. It literally was in that, and they had these special like giant multi-shooting. It was a machine gun bow and arrow. Where they
really?
cranked. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dead serious because that happened back then. And so it was a lot of liberties they took.
And I looked it up. So the guy's name is Lars Anderson. If you guys get a chance, Google this guy because he's the guy who did the archery training for the Robin Hood movie I talked about a few months ago. He's the one that shows you, and they do like time trials on how quickly he can fire arrows and stuff. There's a whole YouTube video of amazing stuff of that guy, and he did the training of that. So some of it, and I haven't seen it.
His bow work is legit.
Yes,
as you're
and
trying
that's
to,
what I'm
yeah.
trying to say.
Well, that's part. They do make part of his. It's almost like a Rocky training montage. So he comes
I'm
back
kinda into that,
He
though.
comes back
Kinda into it.
back from the Crusades, and he was rich, but the Robin of Locksley was kind of rich, and he has a castle kind of thing. It's all run down and been confiscated by the state. So him and Little John are training in this castle to become thieves in this rundown castle, and that's where they show him like Little John gives him pointers
Working
on how
on
to shoot
target
the arrows.
and
Is it bad that when I hear Little John's name, I'll be like, yeah,
Okay.
I hear
Like,
that, and
wrong
I'm
guy.
like, wait, we're not talking about the rapper Lil Jon.
Yeah, no. Well, it's not a traditional Little John either. Jamie Foxx
True.
is from the Middle East.
Oh.
And he has this long, weird name, so Robinhood just calls him Little John because he can't pronounce his real name.
So it's like almost like a flip between the Kevin Costner one, where you know.
Yeah,
Is it the same story, Sheriff of Nottingham and everything? It's not. There's nothing new other than the archery work. It seemed in like a newer spin. On
yeah, and the only thing kind of new, the Sheriff of Nottingham's kind of tied in with the church. There's an evil archbishop that's helping him.
Which that was in the Kevin Costner one as well.
Because I forgot most of it.
Because he ends up throwing the priest out the window or something like that.
All I remember is that Kevin Costner one, if you watch it now, is almost a comedy. It makes you laugh.
But that's all I know though from Robinhood. Like certain parts are comical, but it's like,
so bad.
dude, I compare every Robinhood movie to that.
Yeah.
Your fault, first of all.
You're just upset because you're not a Bryan Adams fan.
Yeah.
That's the highlight of that movie was that song.
What do you think of that? I mean, what are we saying about Rob? Is it worth the rental? At least?
Wait
It's
for
not-
cable. Wait for
it's really an
TBS.
HBO release.
Yeah, maybe if it comes to Netflix, watch it if you're bored. Give it a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
I gave King Arthur maybe a 5 or 6. Same difference. It's just not good. And they left it up for a sequel at the end, and the movie bombed, so there's going to be no sequel. I always find that funny when movies do that. Yeah, so it just, I don't know. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it edgy and more modern, and it just failed. They tried something, and it failed. But the archery is good. There's a lot of scenes of him jumping and shoot. There's even a part, like I told Charles, they're on a carriage, and they're having a carriage, like they're running through the city on a big carriage. And it literally looks like a 1960s sitcom. The background doesn't meld with the characters. That's how bad the CG is in that part. I was like, oh my God, how did I not see that?
That's because the best carriage escape has already happened in the movie Willow.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we're all on the same page.
Oh, Mad Mardigan. I'm in, bro.
Dude,
I'm in.
where he was the woman. And
Yeah.
Well, Willow was 100 times better than Robin.
Willow's an amazing movie and still holds up. I watched it not even 3 months ago.
They re-released it, anniversary edition.
I might have to pick that up.
So there you go. Watch Umbrella Academy and avoid Robin Hood. Now, this next one was a random Charles's night out at the theater that surprised me. Oh. This is, ironically enough, probably the best movie The Rock's ever been in. Fighting with My Family.
Oh, you went and seen it. Yeah, you talked
just yesterday.
about it.
Yeah, it looked great. And it was based on a true story, and I took the biggest wrestling person I know and my brother. I called him up and I was like, hey, what are you doing tonight? Let's go check this out. And it was a great movie. I thought it was super good. I thought Vince Vaughn was really good in it. We kind of talked about it after the movie.
Now, funny, serious?
He was a little bit of both.
Okay,
so he was like a coach.
Not that it matters to me.
But
like,
he was making a bunch of cracks.
Coach that got the crack on the people he's training. So you imagine Vince Vaughn just being sarcastic at people he's training. How good is that?
Yeah.
It's dodgeball all over again. That's all it is.
Not quite as funny.
Well,
but I see what you're saying.
And then, like I said, like the family stuff was really funny. The parents were, good and lighthearted. The stuff with the brother got a little heavy-handed. I'd agree with Steve's assessment in that. But I was totally entertained by it. And The Rock was The Rock in it, so it was kind of entertaining that way and stuff like that.
On.
It was a neat thing. And to see it was someone's true story was really cool, too. Like, it was just the fact that it was
wonder
based
whose
in
story it really...
This chick named Paige. Yeah. Paige is a wrestler. Tim, we'll ask Tim later on.
Yeah, what's her...
She was a chick.
She was
that
about
actually,
2010, 2011.
and she could
it
wrestle.
sounds familiar. It's like Ellen Page. Ellen Page?
She's very pale, bright red lipstick all the time. Looks like a
Dark
goth.
hair.
It sounds
Looks
familiar,
like a goth chick,
yeah.
But the point is, I thought it was great. I'd highly recommend it. I thought it was a good time. I would say to go see it in the theater would be my whole thing. Steve, you having a different assessment?
No, I don't. The only 2 things I want everyone to be aware of. One, Rock's barely in it. I mean, he's in 2 scenes.
He's on all the posters.
Maybe 5 to 10 minutes. They put his picture everywhere. I mean, it's fine that that's the scenes in and he's good in them, but don't think you're seeing a movie with Rock through the whole thing. He's not in it. And 2, it is a comedy, but there isn't as many laughs as you think there would be. Yeah. If you've seen a lot of the trailers for it, you've seen most of the jokes. But it's still a good movie, regardless.
Would you say rental, or would you say? I say
I would go to a matinee and see it.
I definitely.
I wouldn't mind that,
especially if you're a wrestling fan.
It pulls the curtain back some, lets you see behind the scenes a little bit of wrestling. So that's interesting enough as it is. And like you said, the family's funny, except for the brother. He's an annoying douche. I mean, the dude had no muscle structure whatsoever, and he was shocked that WWE
he was
didn't
a
want him.
He could have been a luchador.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, no, he was
Easy.
pale. He had red hair and pale white. He was not going to be a
Okay,
loser.
so he was Sheamus. That was a flyer.
Deflated, shameless.
Now, the other thing we noted, so we went to the MGR in Westland.
Yeah.
And this weekend, apparently there's a new Tyler Perry Medea movie
Oh,
out.
Lord.
This movie was playing in 3 theaters and was jammed up when Steve and I were there.
But you know what I read was How to Train Your Dragon 3 still beat it out.
Well,
I go,
didn't it?
how
Not
the
in Westland.
hell,
Not in
man?
Westland.
Holy
Oh
cow.
my God! We were
That's
shocked.
crazy. That's
We
wow.
were in line, and this black girl next to us, and we're like, "Boy, there's a lot of people here." And she looks at me, "That's because the new black movie came out today."
Oh.
We start cracking.
She owned up to
I
it.
love
Yeah.
the honesty. Yeah.
Tyler Perry, and still
But,
knocking
yeah.
it down. That's a rich man. I'd like to know how much he's worth. He's got to
I
be
don't know,
a couple
man,
$100
but-
million, right? I mean, he shows up in
And
like
he still
Star
keeps
Trek and
cranking
stuff.
these Medea movies out.
Well,
They
like I
still-
said, I
people
think
still
he's
going
the black Kevin Smith. Instead of Silent Bob, he just dresses like this Medea lady and just cranks out a bunch of
Here's
comedies.
a Halloween version.
Yeah,
Here's a-
same difference.
It was
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, Fighting with My Family, I say go to the theater. Steve's a big fan. Go to the theater
Yeah.
for it. It was
Yeah.
a good movie.
I'm interested.
Totally.
Yeah, we've talked
Paige
about
came
it.
into WWE about 2010, 2011. Apparently, she did win the title right away from AJ Lee, who was sleeping with CM Punk. CM Punk quit, and they fired AJ Lee shortly after, and she won the title from her. This is some inner stuff. Now, the funny thing
This
about
is why I took him to the wrestling movie.
a couple years after this movie takes place, Paige, with the Apple sex tape releases where all the phones got hacked, she had a bunch of them out there on the internet. So you folks out there want to find some inner Paige home movies, and they are graphic. Let me tell you that one.
Turn the page.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
heard.
And then even a year after that, she physically got hurt and can't wrestle anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But I tell you this: if you're even remotely into wrestling, you
Yes.
gotta go see it. And Steve's saying that if you're watching these wrestling shows, it's front and center the whole time while you're watching the shows and everything too. So
Yeah.
if you, WWE actually helped produce it.
Yeah,
I
it's a
wanna say.
WWE movie,
Yeah.
so and their track record is like 0-64 because most of their movies are terrible. They
Oh,
had one
man.
with Kane that was bearable, and one with Stone
See
Cold.
No Evil or something like that.
Yeah, that
And
was.
then there
okay.
was started with a C or whatever.
It's called Awful.
The Condemned with
yeah,
Stone
with
Cold.
Stone Cold.
That
Yeah,
wasn't too bad.
I was gonna say with
The
Vinnie
rest have been
Jones,
terrible.
I think was
The,
in it.
the
That was-
other
yeah,
thing
it
of
wasn't
note
too
with the
bad.
It made 22 Marine movies too, and they're all terrible.
Are we really going through the
Yes.
right now?
We're
the other thing
No
of note
holds
with-
bar. That's what I'm talking
with
about.
the
That was before the WWE.
with Zeus, baby. It was a limited release too, so that's why we ended up all the way out in Westland. It's not playing in every theater, so if you
okay.
want to
I
seek
didn't
it
know
out,
that.
you got to kind of watch where it's playing.
Did
So-
not know that. Now, Rob, this next one here, we didn't go see it. From what I heard, it's like Japanese anime where it looks great, but the story tongue sack. So tell us about Attila.
Alita.
Alita. Sorry, Attila.
Attila the Hun.
Tell us about Attila Hun. I'd rather see that.
It looked neat. So this is that anime type one with the big eyes.
Yes.
You came into
James
work
Cameron
the other
wrote
day, and
the
I wanted to
script
talk
about
about it a
Yes.
little more.
So yeah, I talked to your brother about it a little bit, and the premise of the show is
The movie, you mean? It's a movie. It's not. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll show a movie.
Yeah.
What-
Well, we talk so much about Netflix.
I'll
around
usually
here.
say like
Yeah.
TV. I'll usually say
Yeah.
TV,
Yeah.
but a show is a show.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but anyway, so
So the premise of the movie is the gentleman that creates her, he had lost his daughter, and was pretty much trying to kind of like make her like her image. So I
like a Pinocchio type deal.
yeah.
he's
so,
Geppetto.
So no, Geppetto. It was the puppeteer.
oh, I thought Geppetto made Pinocchio.
Or no, he made. That's right. He made Pinocchio, but
How
there was a
many Bud Lights have you
puppeteer.
had before you got here?
I can't remember what was that.
Anyway, regardless of Pinocchio
Okay, so
trivia,
yeah. So
let's keep this train on the tracks here.
she was a bot from like some certain war or whatever. So she was trained and has knowledge of all this martial arts and
So she's like a next level.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like version 3.0 of these.
yes,
Like,
and like she had this armor, this body that could heal itself, and all this other stuff or whatever. So what it was he had found this carcass pretty much, and it was able to salvage the brain that was in it, and it put it in this body.
so is the company that made them going after the bot now, or who's?
Just there, it's like Nomad. It's like a Wild Wild West kind of thing, as for like robotics and stuff like that. that. So it's like
who's attacking her at this point?
She's down for whatever. She actually bumped
She's just
shoulders
fighting anyone?
with this dude that's like both of you put together and like robotic, and he says excuse you, and she's like, dude, she's ready to throw. I was a little and that's like right off.
So what's the whole premise of the movie though, Rob? Like,
so this person or whatever, this company's trying to get a hold of her because of the knowledge of the martial arts. The body.
So they're trying to reproduce his Pinocchio multiple
pretty
times.
much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Christopher Mintz Waltz or whatever is trying to protect her? Is that what's...
That's...
Christoph Waltz.
Yes. So he creates her. He's like... I can't remember what the name of what he is, but he's like this hunter. So he goes out in the middle of the night with this huge, like... maul or mace or whatever, and like fights robotic dudes.
I feel like I'm more confused than when you started this conversation.
It is a little so like, there is a lot of like I said, it's like
it sounds very anime.
It's nomad like ask like like there
so
are no
at the
rules.
end of the movie, does Johnny Five like know that she's alive, or what happens? I don't understand. What are
I don't want to give it away.
But what are we working towards?
What's happening? There's also like this game in there that's like rollerball, dude. It's like there's a lot going on. Like
how long is the movie?
Like 2 hours and some change.
So I guess to boil it all down to would you recommend it? I guess
I'd say give it a shot. You
like
know, if
on
you're
a rental thing or like. Seek it out in the theater. Like
I would say go to this. I would wait like a week or two after it had come out.
The dollar show? Is that what you're saying?
Not the dollar show, but I mean, like I'd
scale of 1 to 10. What would you give it?
A 6.5. The only reason because I don't know really a whole lot about the characters and.
But
and
what's
else.
crazy is you watched it and you don't.
Well, here's the knock I've heard about it, and you tell me if they're right or wrong. I heard a lot of the dialogue is hokey and kind of misplaced, and then there's a lot of exposition where guys are just babbling on forever. Is that true or false about that?
A little bit, yes. I will say there's a little bit of stuff going on where you're like, this is irrelevant. None of this needed to be in there.
Like they said she has a love story interest in it, and that's almost pointless.
To a certain extent,
so all the critics.
Well, to my thing is like
I came to Rob for knowledge and I got nothing.
Yeah,
what the hell's happening?
I'm a complicated person. So
what the hell?
It's complicated because she's a robot, and like this.
So
human,
you'd recommend it at the end of the day?
I would because the visuals are stunning.
I'm
like
always someone looking for more sci-fi.
The action is off the chart. Like the martial arts is
but
real
now
good.
You didn't watch it. You watched it on a jailbroken Fire Stick.
Correct.
Did it look good though?
It wasn't a bad copy.
No,
so
but I'm
like,
saying like did the visuals and stuff like that?
Like if I would have caught a 1080p, it would have been like.
Did Bob's handy cam shake any when he
started recording? Yeah, exactly.
So then the other one you hit me up about, you talked to me about it at work, and this was at a time when me and Steve again. And after your explanation of Alita, I'm scared to ask you the question. So you watched Mortal Engines too, which was another one that me and Steve were like, I don't get it. Like, what is this?
I mean, it looked cool, but we didn't.
Peter Jackson, cities are eating cities.
Yes, and so they eat these mobile cities. And they use them for parts.
They're getting the resources.
To their cities, and they're looking for technology.
But I remember asking you at work, why are they mobile?
Oh, that's one thing I wasn't really paying attention. Like I was, how you said like you put stuff on for background noise or so. I immediately started to watch this, and I'm like I'm getting into it, and I'm like.
What? And then your hot pocket was ready? Like what happened?
And then I was just like,
so it obviously
I drove into the ground.
So I think to Steve's points, I think the critics are right on Mortal Engines too. If it were compelling, you'd have been sucked into it.
Oh yeah.
They're chasing down one girl. What's the theory there?
So what it is the girl had like I don't know if he's like the mayor or the president or whatever of this town. It's supposed to be London, I believe. He had killed her mom. And she's seen it.
So he needs to get a hold of her to cover his.
So yeah, he tries to 86 her and toss her off this mobile town or city or whatever, and she survives. She comes back and she's going to expose him. It's Hugo Weaver's character.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
Elron from
so yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
So that's the premise of the actual movie itself, is she's trying to expose him for what he is, which is a murderer and blah blah blah.
Let me see how far off I am. I'm going to guess why the cities are moving. I'm going to guess this is in the future, and Earth has
resource
become
scarcity?
Resources scarce. The Earth has become volatile from climate change and different things. So to stay secure and safe, they got to move the cities around
to where the resources are.
Yeah, and also maybe there's ozone gaps or something. The sun will fry the city. So that's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
It makes a logical sense.
But when you came into work, you were super lukewarm on it. You were
I was,
because I'm like poking at him, like, what is it? And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, okay.
So on a scale
and
of
I
1 to
tried to explain it the best I could in that moment. And I'm like,
So yeah, what to Steve's
1
point,
to 10 on this
yeah.
one, what are you giving it?
oh, I'd probably give it like a 4.5. Man, it was bad.
Wow.
It was. I struggled to and I have ADHD, so I already have an issue with.
Trust me, it's been very apparent today.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
We're just messing with
Just
you.
talking shit.
I thought you were going to talk to me about the man that killed Hitler and
Yeah,
Bigfoot,
you saw
'cause
that
I
one too.
watched
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were. I didn't get a chance to talk to you. You were talking to
I
someone else.
thought it was
about
going to be a comedy.
So that's the Sam Elliott joint.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah, and I go, Sam Elliott's not really one for a whole lot of comedy,
Well, he is in the ranch.
Yeah,
he's
and
in
he
Big
is, and that's
Lebowski, too.
and that's the most I've really ever said. But he's not really like funny, his lines are funny, but he's just so serious.
Dry and
yeah,
Southern
yeah,
or whatever. Like
so
grizzled.
I go, I'll give it a shot, whatever on a whim, and I start watching. I go, this is not a comedy at all. This is not at all what I expected to be, and the storyline was actually a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be. So him as a young man, he had went to the military and trained or whatever. Well, he had trained to be a spy, okay, and they had trained him. He was going to kill Hitler. So that of course it also says in the name of the movie title, but it shows how he traveled through Germany and through all the European countries and stuff like that, and what he had to do to keep his identity and everything secret to the point to where he had actually found Hitler and did what he needed to do.
So then, does this take place in that time, or is this after the fact?
This is him just kind of rewinding, because it goes in. So when he goes up against Bigfoot, like,
Wait, what? Bigfoot?
yes,
It's one of those quirky movies.
Yes!
Yeah.
What is this on?
I thought this was
It
a
just
comedy.
came out like local, limited release in the theater.
Your mindset is correct. I thought it was a I thought it was a comedy.
It's so quirky and stuff like that.
the name was like, whatever. Like, this is out of control.
And it was just terrible.
No, it was actually not at all what I had expected. I was.
But did you? You sound like you liked it.
Yes, it was better than freaking Mortal Engines.
No,
It was better than that.
So wait, so this is the name of this is The Man Who Would Kill Hitler.
The Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot.
and Bigfoot.
Yes.
And you recommend that over Mortal Engines?
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's crazy.
I know. Yeah, I'm blowing your mind. I'm blowing
This is
everybody's
at the
mind.
theater, not Netflix?
It's a limited
Correct.
release movie. It's like one of those niche-y, real
yeah.
limited.
I've never
deal.
even heard of it. I don't even
It
know
was
what
like the
hell.
J.J.
So, like-
Abrams Overlook or
Overlord,
Overwatch.
yeah.
He's in his 70s or something, like, or
Yeah,
60s or something like that when he's going
Does he
up
get
against...
down?
Oh,
like-
yeah, he gets
Is he
down.
shooting them, or is he like knife play, or what's going on?
It's a little of both. Yeah. So he ends up popping Bigfoot, and so he's got a walkie-talkie, and he's talking to the United States government. Telling him, we heard a gunshot.
So Bigfoot was German?
No. This was later.
He's saying he cut his tooth learning how to kill Hitler.
Yeah.
And then now, fast forward.
The
Oh,
government
okay.
goes to him afterwards because Bigfoot gives off radiation and all this other stuff that's like biological, that he's immune to everything. So that's why they go to him.
This sounds terrible.
He's their last line of
I
defense
love
against
Sam
Bigfoot.
Elliott. I
Sucker.
love Roadhouse, but this sounds awful.
Like I said, I thought it was a
Great
comedy, but the
Adventures
premise
Baron
of it was
Munchausen or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
the premise of it was actually very serious.
It's like a weird Forrest Gump where he went through all
Yeah.
these
So out of
historical
these
things.
3 movies, Rob, you had to recommend one of the Rob Walker movies. What do we recommend?
Oh, I'd say Alita overall. Like
Yeah.
the action and stuff like that is actually pretty good. I'd go The Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot, and then Mortal Engines. But yeah, like I was kind of blown away a little bit because, like I said, I thought it was going to be a comedy because it was going to be this.
That's
whatever.
Steve doesn't know what he's talking about.
I was like, what? Wait,
Yeah.
Bigfoot?
I've heard
Yeah.
about it. I heard about it before that, and I just happened to walk past you when you were talking to someone else about it.
Yep.
All right, so there's a look at those.
Sounds like avoid all of them at all costs.
They're unique. Now, Charles, what is Behind the Curve?
Yeah, so again, I'm a Netflix junkie, as you guys have chronicled and we talked about here. It's basically called Behind the Curve, and it's about these flat Earth people. Oh my god,
Morons.
dude, it's just so funny to see, and the documentary does a fantastic job of just letting these flat Earth people
Really?
talk, and you're just like, these guys are so stupid.
So, do you think flat Earth people get their kids vaccinated?
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're like complete like aluminum foil hat people and all this kind of stuff. Like, 'cause they reference the Truman Show a bunch, which is hilarious to me because it's like, so your whole theory on the Earth is based on a Jim Carrey movie, like,
yeah.
because like who built the dome? Like,
what's the theory that they're matching with that though?
what do you mean? Like, so they're basically saying there's like a dome essentially over this flat Earth that is the sky, and that like the Earth. They can't even. So as the minute scientists start poking holes in theories,
Yes.
like they're convinced that no flights come from the poles, like the South Pole and all that. So in the documentary, like a girl pulls up a flight pattern, she goes, "There's one right there. There's one right there." Like it's just so funny to watch it. I feel like flat Earth people are people
They
that
gotta be
just,
doing it for publicity.
or they need a community. They need to belong to something because it's like.
Are you going
What-
to give them an island? Like, just move there.
No,
just
I'm
don't
talking
come
about
back.
like they
Maybe
need
build
like
models or do something.
yeah,
with
they
it.
need something to bring that. So
Oh.
they
Maybe
need
just
something to
collect
have in
Pokemon.
common with Rob. So then they sit there and like, yeah, I don't believe it. I think it's flat too. And it's like, you're both idiots.
Yeah. Have they
And-
not heard of satellites? I mean, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my
at this
god,
point.
it's just so funny. And it if you have a spare couple, just watch it because you're just like, it's so funny because they try to convince you and all this kind of stuff, and you're just like, dude, no one's buying this. You're an idiot. You have issues. You need to tend to that. And it's a funny little documentary, and they do a good job. But like I said, they chronicle them going to like this conference, and again, it's like-minded people. It's like people who go to Comic-Con. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to be around other nerds. You know what I mean? So these people go and be around other flat earthers so that they can have like. It's just so bad.
Just
It's
have
so
a
funny.
Geek out of like how flat
Yeah,
the Earth is.
and then
It's
like
so level. It's
there's like
just
a
so
weird. The neat part too is there's like infighting within the flat Earth community of like
no.
so like so and so is against such and such because you know they think that they work for the CIA and like you see that people are just kind of off their rockers a little bit and stuff
man.
like that.
that's
So
funny.
I'd recommend it. Check it out if you got Netflix. It's a pretty interesting.
You should
hour and a half
look for
to
like
us.
conferences that actually happen in Michigan.
Yeah,
You should,
go
you should
interview
go to
people.
one
Oh, it's so
and
funny.
just listen.
It's anti-vaxxers and flat earther people are some of the and I've chronicled here where I don't like Jenny McCarthy for anti-vaxxers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of the most
Understandable.
irresponsible things you can do.
Well, she's been so flip floppy, like
yeah.
about the whole
Yeah, because
damn
she's
thing.
a flat earther
Yeah.
thing and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff where it's like it's convenient for the moment. And those are just some
Yeah.
of the most those people should not allow to have children because now your kid's growing up and like mom one week thought I shouldn't get vaccinated and now this week
Yeah.
because she's banging Donnie Wahlberg, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I've got all my shots.
And,
I'm good.
and she's got to act normal because she wanted her TV show Behind the Mask Singer or whatever.
That's true.
And
yeah.
a great show.
Yeah.
That finished up finally. Did you watch the finale? Of
I know
that?
who won. I didn't
T-Pain.
I didn't watch one full episode.
The best part was once I watched the first week or so, I just literally pulled up news articles the next day and found out who it was. I'm
there
like,
was
I
no
don't
point.
care.
So there you go, Behind the Curve. The little other. Now, here's the funny thing about us, Rob. Charles and I grew up in the same household, same kind of relatives, and we have complete opposite tastes in music.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
most of his.
Yes, we have talked about.
I
this.
like hillbillies. I like rock. I like.
Right on.
Rob is very similar to you.
Yeah.
But I like everything, though. I do like rap. I also like. I even listen to Samuel Mendez.
But
just
you
like
tend to
one of-
lean in a certain
Yeah.
direction, though.
And
that's-
Charles leans towards coffee house. If you're in a coffee house,
I
with
got-
some Birkenstocks on.
some Jack
It's funny
Johnsons
too.
on.
So anyway, Heather and I, what Steve's slowly getting around to ripping on me about is Heather and I went to Andrew McMahon in the wilderness.
Can I give just one disclaimer though? I did listen to Andrew McMahon after you told me. I didn't think he was that
Turned you on a
bad.
little
He
bit,
has, but he denies it. he has a little bit of a Tom Petty vibe.
He doesn't have a Tom.
There's some songs he sounds like Tom Petty. Not all,
I've
but
never
some.
heard it, but
Yeah, it's not.
But
bad.
anyway, we went to a concert this past Friday at the Fillmore. So I was lukewarm on the new CD. It's Upside Down Flowers is the name of the new CD. And the thing was, going to the concert was fantastic. He got on stage at 9:30. He played till 11:30. It was a 2-hour long show.
Wow.
So if you're
Did he do an encore?
Yeah, they all do. I don't get that. I don't know. Does anyone have any insight? Rob, you got any insight? What's the point of encores?
Well, hold on. Now, if I'm in a band or whatever, I would hold one song.
They do 3 or 4 every concert I've been to.
One song that I would feel
at
that
least two.
everybody
there's at
wants
least
to
two.
hear, and I try to make that the
do they
last
take a
one.
minute? I don't understand what it is. Do they need to like wipe off the sweat? What
I
are
don't.
they doing?
I don't know. I don't. Never understood the point of encores.
I don't know. But
Just
anyway,
sing
they
all
did
your
I
do
chug
an
a
encore.
beer, and I played with bands and stuff like that. We never had songs like we did an encore,
Yeah.
but we'd take a minute to kind of
Regroup.
just kind of be like, oh, dude, the crowd's good, or let's drink a beer or whatever.
The point was, at this concert, he still does. So I've known Andrew McMahon's work all the way back from Something Corporate and all that kind of stuff. The nice part was, and regardless of how you feel about that music, he does a lot of hits all the way back to those days. So like, if you're a fan of like his complete album, he doesn't just do like just the new stuff, I guess is what it was. And I thought the show was great. They had 2 bands open for him. One was called Grizz Folks, and the other one was called Floor. We liked the Grizz Folks band. They were pretty good, but the Andrew McMahon stuff was fantastic for 2 hours.
I gotta ask: is Charles at a concert? Are you a dancer, or are you just stand there and listen?
I stand there typically, but I do sing along a little bit because I do love some Andrew McMahon stuff.
What about Heather? Is she a dancer?
Heather will bop and Heather will move a little bit. But we like to sing along, man. What's funny though is you ripped on me for like liking coffee house stuff. All we do when we go there. So these are all my people. Let's be honest. Like they're all like these white people,
Snooty people.
Yeah. So we're all and I'm like judging them the whole time. I hate them all, and I'm like, I hate them. Meanwhile, I'm at the same concert, wearing the same clothes, hating
the
same
same
people over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's just as you get older, I'm just not into hard music anymore. Listen, man, I'm 40 years old this year. I'm not going to listen to like Metallica. I'm not keeping it real still. I tend to like.
Stop.
I get it. Admittedly, it's just
I don't seek it out, but I mean, if
if
it's an old classic, I mean,
Oh, I know. But
Back in Black comes on, you turn it off. I mean,
No,
come on,
I think that a lot of the old Metallica stuff's fantastic. But am I going to drive at 5:30 in the morning to work listening to it? Probably not.
I don't know.
what mean?
I do.
You'd get to work pretty quick.
Dude,
Yeah, and you want to punch someone when you get there.
Dude, I've got P cells in the car, dude. I rock
These
that
motherfuckers
stuff.
rocking Anthrax.
Yeah, killer bees, dude.
Bring the noise.
Turn it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This concert was at the Fillmore. If you guys get a chance, I don't know who's listening to it. They can still go and see him. 2-hour-long show.
What was the average age group there?
Probably he suffered from leukemia and he has this Dear Jack Foundation.
Jesus Christ! Is there any backstory you don't know about this guy?
I
like AC/DC, whatever groups, Kid Rock, whatever.
It's in your
but
face.
I don't know his background.
It's in your face a lot if you go to the concert.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
at this point, what's crazy is I've seen Andrew McMahon live 3 times.
Jesus Christ!
I saw him in Something Corporate and then 2 times at Andrew McMahon. But the point was his foundation is from 15 to 39. So you can see his window is exactly where I'm. And I'm almost aging out of it, honestly.
Yeah, you're near the end. Well, I mean, he's got to be aging out of it, right? So the one thing I love about concerts that always cracks me up is there's always that one woman who she's out of the office and she's having a good time, high as hell, just dancing. Did you see some of them?
There's a bunch of them. We were calling the Quicken Loans group. There was like 10 people that must have been from the same office, and like one dude was just
Susan's going crazy.
And Heather and I are judging the crap out of him.
Meredith from The Office. That's who it is. It's Meredith.
It's a great time, it was a good concert. The crazy part was, like I said, 2 hours, man. You can't. That's a great value. We paid $35. I don't go to see a lot of bands at like DTE anymore because a lot of these smaller bands that I like and that my wife likes aren't at those venues. Like the biggest thing we go and see is like Michigan Theater and stuff like that. Wow. So, but yeah, big fan. Upside Down Flowers, still lukewarm on the album. His first 2 albums are much better, but the concert was great.
When did Let me ask you this, because I know Dad, and Dad was Riff, Wheels, Deep Purple. Grandpa was Willie Nelson. Grandpa was Willie Nelson and Kenny Rogers. When were you ever exposed to these
I can
hippies?
tell you. Well, I can tell you the
question.
exact time.
Oh,
So like.
okay.
A lot of my younger, my younger was listening to a lot of the music you had. So, like, again, that's where the Bryan Adams stuff that he ripped on me for earlier and stuff like, came in. And you'll see a little bit of that Aerosmith and all that kind of stuff was big. But then, as I started to kind of find my own way, I found a band that I really liked called Dashboard Confessional. This was back when it was MP3.com.
Oh, man.
And that's when I got exposed to. And so, basically, it took me down a whole rabbit hole. And then that kind of changed
What was
I
the name of their
listened to.
first album? Tampon?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Changed one.
I'm not, as much as I love pugilism and MMA and like angry
I know,
stuff.
you listen to death
he's
metal?
got this gentle.
Yeah,
this teddy bear
when
side
it comes to
him.
music,
With
man,
UFC,
I like it low
you should be listening to death metal every
Yeah,
day.
Yeah, he
that's
just-
just
he
that's
wants
not
some
my
snuggle.
thing.
Bodies hit the floor, motherfucker. You should
I'm
not
not
be
System
listening.
of the Down. Or no.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he likes to jump on
I've
me
always-
about concerts. I went to who was it? It was just this giant like old school like
He's
like
into, like,
country
Southern
concert.
rock
So
kind
it
of
was
stuff,
it was Leonard Skinner,
Oh, hell yeah.
Marshall Tucker Band,
Yeah.
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Devin went down to Georgia.
Yep, and Jamie Johnson, man.
Yeah,
And
Jamie
so that's
Johnson.
so that's what I want to see.
That's some deep hillbilly shit right there.
Hell yeah, dude!
Wonderful.
Yep.
That's
you
a
go
lot
to
of
the
the
Hoedown
conversation.
downtown?
No, I don't. No,
I don't
no.
either. I like country music, but I'm
That's
not
that's a
going
little
to
bit
Hoedown.
too far
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole or whatever for me.
The one we liked, we saw the country is Zach Brown Band. Have you seen them?
I have not seen him, but I'd love to.
He'd go in a heart.
They did
I
a
would.
cover of a Nirvana song acoustic. It was great.
Jamie
So,
Johnson
Andrew
did a cover
McMahon
of Metallica, man.
did a cover of "Believe" by Cher.
Oh,
Did you all change your tampons at the same time?
did you all auto tune at the same
Dude,
time?
I
Yeah,
came out
Oh,
playing
my
the
God.
piano. I
Yeah.
love it, dude. I do. I soak it up. I go
kept
on.
licking
thing.
his lip, dude.
I just never understood where the hell you were exposed to it
And
because
it's
no one in
'cause
our
of Dashboard.
family.
It's 'cause
there
of
was
Dashboard.
no one listening to that.
One of my
shit.
favorite songs ever. Is
What is your take on rap like from the '90s? Did you like
I
any
love
of
rap.
that?
I still listen to
Montel
like
Jordan,
there's
LL
tons of,
Cool
look at my
J,
CD. You'll see a ton of
Julio.
DMX stuff and
Yeah,
all that kind
DMX,
of stuff.
yeah,
I love
it's
all
funny.
that, but
It's
you
always
know,
funny. I, was like,
I
how the
just
hell did he end
I
up
like
on
a little
that?
more low key stuff, man.
He's like, I like to have a good sweater on with the fire going.
Dude, I do. And then I'll judge me for having that sweater on. I'll look what does that
Don't
do?
ever let him
I
rip.
don't see him with a glass of scotch at the end of the night.
Don't
Yeah.
ever let him rip on your concerts. Cause
Oh, I never
This
will.
motherfucker went to a field in the middle of Ohio
Dude,
to see a Scottish band.
Yeah,
It's like,
that was
what?
Heather.
Hey,
That's Heather's
listen.
big thing.
I'd
Mumford
still-
is Heather's big thing.
I'd
I
still
enjoy it.
go.
He goes to all that shit.
I
Don't
still
let
go.
him-
Fuck it. I still go. Why? Because I grew
enjoy
up
a
with
good Kid Rock
music.
show, I'm not gonna
I
lie.
love music, and I just
I have
you know.
a Kid Rock. I have two Kid Rock CDs. So.
Yeah. I've seen him a couple times. He
but
puts
if
on a
I'm
great
gonna
show.
listen to
Yeah,
my
with
top
the strippers in the back in the day, his concerts were way better. He had strippers in cages, people were going
Yeah.
crazy, midgets. It was the
Yeah,
greatest.
yeah.
Now
Hey,
it's
listen,
all
we
over.
got to
like a
get off of
circus
this.
at the
We're
time.
never gonna. We're at an hour and 10, and we haven't got any content.
We're gonna crack this quick.
Yeah.
Because here comes the favorite 3 minutes of the podcast right now. Rob, I don't know how much you watch. You said you don't anymore.
A little bit here and there. I
3
think
minutes
that's-
of wrestling coming your way, folks.
3 minutes of
I
wrestling.
have
All
questions
right, I'm in.
about this.
Okay, now back in the '90s, Rob, did you watch Raw and Nitro and all that shit? Mm-hmm. So on an average Monday, I would give it an 8 out of 10 for Raw on Monday. Raw's, a good Raw with Stone Cold, Austin, all that.
Oh, I'd give it a
Yes.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10
Amazing.
either way.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So,
day.
so
The
recently,
Attitude Era.
recently, most Raws have been around a 3 or a 4, and it's been that way for a long
Man,
time.
yeah.
Now, this past Monday, though, they might have bumped up to a 5. So it was a pretty good Raw this past
Who did
Monday.
they bring out of retirement or something?
Batista came back.
Ah,
This
there
is
you
old
go.
boy from Galaxy of the or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Drax
yeah.
from Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Wonder why he went back? Is because he basically.
He's running a small program from now until the end of WrestleMania. And
what do you mean by that?
He's kind of small. Sometimes they bring older guys back just for like 5-6 months. boost-
Commentary or
No, he's gonna-
scouting.
he's in-
or-
he's in action,
Oh,
right?
He's going to be
Oh,
wrestling.
he's in action.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
He's 50, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's gonna,
What? He's 50. What are you going to look like at 50?
Not that.
Not that. Yeah,
No.
I'm with you.
And I don't know if you guys saw Raw. He's got a new nose ring, a big purple nose ring.
Oh,
and he's got
no.
blue shades he's wearing.
No.
So the episode of Raw was Ric Flair's 70th birthday. right?
Yes.
And they're
Yeah.
gonna. You seem to know a lot about this. Some of them not watching.
Well, I know about his birthday. I'd
Oh,
seen
okay.
something. They
Yeah.
surprised
So
him.
the whole show they've
Yeah.
been promoting it. They've been bringing it. Sting came back. Shawn Michaels. They're all gonna have this big party in the ring. And then Ric Flair's music hits. No Ric Flair. He never comes down.
Wow.
All of a sudden, it goes to the back in the back end. Batista's dragging a cameraman with him and goes, "Watch this." And then which is ironic because then he runs into the locker room, beats the shit out of Ric Flair and pulls him out. And he goes, "I got your attention now, Hunter." And then just left Flair laying there in a puddle of blood or whatever and left. And then Triple H came down. So they're promoting Triple H.
Backstage antics. I'm kind of interested.
That was
always good.
They got
That's
away from it.
entertaining,
Yeah, that was good. And Triple H came, and so they're going to set up Triple H versus Batista for WrestleMania.
Okay.
The other thing that was nice, Roman Reigns, leukemia guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So he's back now?
Yeah, first 15 minutes of the show, he did it live in the ring with the thing, and cancer's in remission.
How's he look? Does he look weak and stuff? He looks the same way, huh? He's
full
right
head,
back.
Full head of hair.
He's on a full program of the juice.
Yeah. Apparently, juice gets rid of leukemia, and he even came down later in the show and speared some guys and stuff. So he must be back.
Wow.
Ronda Rousey did a whole angle where she just dropped the belt and walked out. Because they were not some. Angle.
So what you're telling me is, looking at this WrestleMania is going to be amazing. Are you going to put that out there right now?
No, I'm never going to put that out there. Are you crazy? I mean, WrestleMania is their highlight of the year. It's probably going to be the best.
Do
thing
you
they're gonna
have
put
high
out all year.
hopes for this year's
I have
WrestleMania?
I'd like to watch Batista and Triple H wrestle and see if the old man can. I know Triple H can. I'm curious about Batista. Then you're going to have. There's going to be a triple threat for the SmackDown title because Kevin Owens came back. Now, Kevin Owens you might like. He's kind of fun. He's a really good wrestler. The guy can wrestle, but he's like Big Country.
Roy
from
Nelson. He's like Roy
Chubby
Nelson.
dude.
He's like a basketball.
Big old belly, dude. He's athletic.
He does frog splashes.
Yeah,
he's
he can
pretty
throw.
fun.
Yeah.
It's like this guy's wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's back. So things look good. Things are looking up for the WWE this past weekend.
Really?
I was quite shocked.
He's like the new age, like Vader. That's who he is.
Yeah, if you put Vader in the dryer.
Well, yeah, and you shranky dank him.
Kevin Owens may be 5'8",
but he's a big guy that can move. Is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Well, he's not even all that big. He's just got a beer gut.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But so things are looking up for the WWE. Let's see if they can maintain it. It's probably the best Raw I've seen all year. So, which was kind of shocking, especially with the Batista thing. I didn't see that coming. It wasn't on the internet or anything either.
Because Batista got into all the drama with the Tim Gunn stuff, right? Didn't he get into? Is his movie career slowing down? Is that the implication?
No. He's
you talking about James Gunn?
James Gunn.
There we
Tim
go.
Gunn
Yeah,
is
I was
from
like-
Project Runway.
James Gunn is
Project
now
Runway. What the hell?
he'll be doing the next Suicide Squad. James
Yeah.
Gunn.
Okay.
And Batista's they already want him in that.
Okay, so he's got a movie
Batista's he's going to be in the new Dune movie. They're remaking Dune, but they've signed like 50 people to that movie. So
That's
I don't
what.
know.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Now-
every day on IMDb. Sign this person. Sign that person.
Yeah, here's a funny thing about Batista in a recent interview. He said he doesn't want to be a major like rock type character. He wants to be a character actor that just gets to work with Academy Award winners. That's like why he did that movie with Jodie Foster because she won the Academy Award, which wasn't a bad movie. Just wasn't
And he was
great.
in the Blade Runner, and he was really kind of
So that's all the movies he's shooting for. And that Dune, there's some big director.
just likes to be around it.
He just wants to be in with good movies. He doesn't want to do Skyscraper. He doesn't want to do San
That
Andreas.
hit HBO. I got to check it out.
Oh my god, I haven't watched it yet.
I'm
either.
hoping he's striving for depth, really. Like when it comes to acting, like that.
He's not just doing it for a paycheck.
Exactly. He actually wants to learn a craft
because he knows he can always just run back to WWE. Get
this
a
is
little
true,
contract.
and I'd be like, you pay me what I ask, and we're good.
So things are looking good for wrestling now. Don't get me wrong. Wrestling has a habit of shooting itself in the foot. by next week, I can come sit to you and say Raw was terrible again. But right now, it's looking decent.
Yeah.
So there's your 3 minutes of wrestling. Now let's go into the 131 seconds of MMA.
Yeah, so just this Saturday, UFC 235 happened. I want to talk about some of the results. So I was just watching Embedded and stuff like that. So John Jones actually beat Anthony Smith, went all 5 rounds, won a decision, which is a big deal because
you agree with the decision?
I didn't actually see the pay-per-view because I'm cheap. But I'm just telling you what's going on.
Did you see the highlights?
Yeah, I saw highlights, and everyone says that John Jones definitely won the match. So.
Oh, okay.
This is a big one. So this Kimura Usman beat Tyron Woodley for the championship belt.
Yeah.
That was a big deal because Tyron Woodley was like considered to be like the next great hype for the whole UFC, and then he actually lost to the Nigerian Nightmare. They are setting up for a big thing. I was telling Steve this before the show. They're going to have a UFC event in deep Africa.
They have to, yeah. Because he's the first African
champion. Yeah,
period.
but the Adesanya guy's really good too.
Yeah.
so
They
it's a
should do like Gladiator if they do that. Like let lions and tigers just come around. Why not?
Yeah.
So the big thing was that Ben Askren, who his first fight in UFC, who came over from Bellator.
Is that the guy with the chin?
The chin
yeah.
of domination,
This guy's got
as
a
Steve
chin
called it.
that's
He called
out
him the
here.
mask.
Yeah.
Actually,
He's like
won.
American Dad.
He beat Robbie Lawler, who's kind of past his prime. It's not a huge win, but they're going to set this Ben Askren guy up. He's going to tear up the whole thing.
Well, they're talking about a rematch between the two because there's some controversy.
He submitted him in round 1. That's what I was checking out here. And
Which they're saying controversial.
Oh,
or
because
whatever.
it's probably a quick tap or something like that. Or
Well, what it was
end.
I'd watch a couple of the
Someone
news.
has a fire stick he's pulling out.
No.
Oh.
I
Did you
just
get the
I
good
had
feed
caught
and try
on
different
I'd
food?
caught on UFC's like Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Their actual like they're sitting down for their news interviews and stuff like that. And Lawler was telling he had let the referee know he'd given him the thumbs up, like he's good, whatever. And
So it all comes out of the ref,
and
dude.
the other guy was like, dude, his hand dropped, and the ref called whatever he called, and then that's that. Exactly,
loss
yeah,
of
yeah,
consciousness.
yeah.
As soon as your hand
Exactly,
dropped.
yeah.
So one of the other big ones that happened too is Pedro Munoz beat Cody I keep saying
Cody Brandt.
Cody Garbrandt.
There you
the
go.
big thing is this is his third loss in a row. He was like the next big hype, and now he's fallen off hard.
He fought T.J. Dillashaw twice.
He got smoked. Yeah.
Twice, and then he just got
So that was pretty
this
much
time.
the big ones there. I watched all the prelim stuff and all that on ESPN Plus. I did the annual subscription for ESPN Plus and the Fight Pass together. I pay about $12 a month after I pay.
So the
for
Fight
it.
Pass does not include pay-per-views.
No, it will 2 months from now. So everything is 2 month delayed. So that pay-per-view will be there. So for example, a January pay-per-view will show up in March.
Oh, well, that sucks.
I don't want to pay $60 for a pay-per-view.
On the WWE Network, you get the pay-per-views as soon as
The
they
WWE Network is a great value. I'm not here to argue that at all.
All right.
Me and you've chronicled that. It is a great value. And I agree with Stephanie McMahon. So, and then the last thing, I bring it up all the time, but they officially got a date. April 6th, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 5 is taking
They're
place.
going to go up on the same weekend as WrestleMania? Are they insane?
Here's the thing. I'm out of town until the 7th. So, but the nice part is hopefully BV comes into town. We can all live stream our commentary and all that kind of stuff. But the big thing about that is Artem Lobov, who I talked about here, is going to fight on that card. Plus Chris Lieben, who's another UFC guy, will be on the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 5. Steve always wants to know these facts, so I always got to bring it up to him.
The pay-per-view's on a Friday or a Saturday?
That's a Saturday, because WrestleMania is a Sunday.
Yeah, I know, but they always put an NXT pay-per-view on the night before.
Who cares about an NXT pay-per-view?
A lot of diehard schmucks. What are you talking about? I don't know. It just seems like you wouldn't want to touch that weekend. Why don't you do it the week before?
I can't speak for how they book this stuff. I don't know. But anyway, April 6th, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 5. It's either that or the NXT pay-per-view, according to Steve.
Yeah, well, I mean, guys who watch UFC are going to watch WWE. They're going to watch
There's a lot of crossover.
boxing. Yeah, there's a lot of crossover between all that. So you don't want to step on each other's toes. But apparently, the Red Knuckle Fight don't give a shit. So good luck to them.
Well,
So
it's sanctioned in where?
It's in Mississippi. So this time it's in
they're-
Mississippi. They've gone in Wyoming, Mississippi, and Cancun.
Yeah,
So
I was
those
going
are where
to
they're
say, so
sanctioned.
like a lot of it's overseas. Like, so it's like
not. This whole so. I can go off into a whole bare knuckle. I only have 131 seconds, Rob. You're killing me.
Okay, all right. I submit.
So anyway,
I submit. I get
yeah, we'll go on to rapid fire here.
All right, Rob, are you familiar with Rapid Fire?
A little bit.
We're going to tell you some movies, some Blu-rays, and some streaming stuff that's coming out. You could say, hey, I want to see that. No, that sounds like a pile of crap.
Yeah.
Or what are you talking about?
Like the whole Hitler.
Yeah, exactly.
You were like,
that's not on my list. I didn't even know that was coming out. So first in the movies, really only one to really talk about. And knowing your background now, you're probably going to say yes anyways. Captain Marvel comes out March 8th. I'm going to say yes. I think it's going to be one
So
of
that's
the...
this Friday coming up.
March 8th, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of the weaker Marvel movies, but I will go see it, yes. And Rob?
Captain Marvel. I'm in. I am definitely in to kind of see, because it's a prequel to everything. to the whole Iron. Yeah,
Takes place in the 90s.
Whatever.
I'm a no.
I don't get it. Whatever. Of course you are.
Dude, it's only made because Wonder Woman was good. Stop it.
Yeah.
Continue.
Bullshit.
It's why it was made.
Yeah.
No.
Listen, I know.
Wonder Woman
I
didn't
think it
hit.
was already
that
in the
wouldn't be in the
works.
warrant. No.
So you collected comics back in the day?
A little bit, yeah.
How many Captain Marvel comics do you own?
Not
Zero.
a lot.
I'll tell you that
Not
right
a-
now.
I think I
She
have
got
two.
She got canceled all the time.
I think I have two.
Yeah, two. All right.
I don't
Now, how many do you have
a
as Spider-Man? Another two.
lot. More than that.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's never been canceled.
Yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden now we're supposed to love her. But I will see the movie.
I wouldn't say I love her, but I'm interested to see where they go with it. Yes.
So now on Blu-ray, I saw this in the theater, and I will be seeing it on Blu-ray again, probably buying a copy. Creed 2.
Copy, huh? Wow.
I
There
say
we go.
yes.
Let me ask. Let me pause you for
Digital
a minute.
copy,
A digital copy, really?
if I can find it on sale.
How many Creed movies are they going to make? Is this 2 and out? Because I want to buy a box set.
I'm going to say at least 3 you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because this last
Yeah.
one made a lot of money. So
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. The
It's
first Creed
classic.
movie's great.
It's a classic.
So Creed 2,
rapid
yes.
fire.
Rob?
I watched it. It was great. I'd buy it on DVD. It's a classic Rocky movie. Gives you that feel that that you just want to get up and hit a bag, even though you're
Hit a bag.
not
I'm a big yes. I love the Rocky movies. I love Creed movies.
What bag are you
Fantastic.
hitting?
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
hitting a bag. I'm
yeah.
listening to coffee house music.
So the next one that came out, this was an Academy Award nominee, The Favorite. I think it's something to do with the Queen of England. I don't want to see this. Rob?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
I'm a
I
yes.
haven't watched.
It
Wanted
was
to check that
nominated
out.
for like 10 different
Rachel
awards.
Weisz, or not Amy Adams, the Elizabeth Coleman won the award for playing the Queen and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a yes.
Free Solo. I want to put this on here because this is that documentary
This looks
I got
amazing, by the way.
right about rock climbing.
Dude, have you
It's
seen
not
the,
about Han Solo, so I don't want to see it. No. Rob?
Never heard of it, and have no.
Won the Academy Award for Best Documentary.
This is a
Really?
huge yes. It
Like-
looks amazing.
So
this
is
guy
this up
free
there with the
climbs
127
some
hours,
crazy
or-
El Capitan in Yosemite that's like some huge sheer granite cliff. Yes, it looks amazing.
All right, there you go. Free Solo for Charles. Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg and the girl from Neighbors. They adopt a family. No. Rob, what do you think?
I give it a shot. Because it's bound to be a comedy.
That's a no. Rob's crazy.
I think it's more of a-
I didn't think it would be good.
what do they call that? A dramedy. And then this last one is coming out on Blu-ray. Ben is back. It's about a drug-addicted
yeah,
son.
you bracketed this like I was supposed to know what this was.
There's a popular actress in it, and she plays the mother of the drug-addicted son. I find it funny because they just made a movie like this with Steve Carell not too long ago. No for me. I'm good on drug-addicted things. Rob, what do you think?
Nah, I'm good on that.
I'm a what? I didn't know what it was.
I mean,
Yeah,
I watched a
didn't know.
trailer to see what
I only
it's
put it
about.
on there because that's the second movie about a drug-addicted son. I can't remember the name of the one with Steve Carell, but yeah, that one. Now on streaming, coming out, this is on Netflix. Turn Up Charlie. This is Idris Elba. He's an
The
out-of-work
world's sexiest man.
He's an out-of-work DJ that becomes a nanny for his best friend's
He's a
family.
real DJ in real life. Did you know that?
No, I did not. He's got a silky smooth voice. I don't want to see this. The concept sounds terrible. No for me. What do you think, Rob? Turn Up Charlie.
I don't know. I mean, it's Idris Elba. I'd give him a shot. I don't think it'd be good, but I'd give it a shot. Why not?
That's a raging endorsement right there.
That's
Things can be hot garbage.
Well, no, he's chose quite some good
What
roles.
service is this on? Do you know off the top of your head?
The Charlie one, I think, is Netflix.
Okay. I'm a no. This looks awful.
Now, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a movie called Hannah. It was about a girl who became an assassin.
Yeah,
This is the chick punching the tree?
Yeah, this is Amazon Prime. They're releasing a series based on that concept. It looks intriguing. There's nothing else on Prime, so I'm going to say yes, I'd watch it. Rob, what do you think?
I would. I've seen the movie. It was Eric Bannon, I believe. I can't remember the young lady that played the actress, but I'd check it out. I think it's interesting because he trains her to be this
Killer.
Yeah, pretty much, or the spy. I'm in.
I'm a yes. I like any kind of assassin, Jason Bourne stuff. It's intriguing.
Yes.
Now, this next one, this is another step in let's remove Marvel from Netflix. This is called The Shadow. It's going to be a superhero type. He gets hit by lightning, and then he loses all pain receptors in his body and then becomes a vigilante. Is the synopsis for this movie or show? I think it is.
Is it based on a comic?
No, not that I know of.
But it has a vibe to it.
Yeah, but it has a vibe to it.
And it's called The Shadow?
Shadow, I'm pretty sure is what it's
What
called. It's on
happened to
Netflix.
the actual Shadow? Like,
that was a movie with,
with
Alec Baldwin or someone.
Well,
back
it was
in the day.
way before that. It was
Yeah,
an
it was-
actual radio show back
Yeah.
like in the 20s and 30s or something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
this one don't have anything to do with that one.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that
I think
there was no connection.
It's
you
a
know,
black guy playing it. I don't know the name. his
Right
name.
on.
Anyway, sounds like garbage. Steve, yes, no, maybe, or what? Go ahead.
No, it doesn't look that good to me.
I'll give it a shot. Why not?
You'll watch anything.
I will. I'll give it an episode or 30 minutes of my time, and that's it.
I'm a what and no.
And then the final one. This one's called The Widow. It has a semi-famous actress in it, but I forgot to write her name down. It's on Prime. It's a mystery. Her husband dies, and then they say it's natural causes, but she believes it isn't. And it's a series, and it unfolds that it wasn't. So it's kind of a murder mystery about her husband called The Widow. No for me. I'm not big into that.
No, thank you. Yeah.
It sounds boring.
Yeah.
I'm a no.
So there's a famous actress in it. And I can't think of her name, but I should've
She's so
wrote it
good
down.
that Steve doesn't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. So there's some rapid fire for you. Creed 2, Free Solo, Instant Family, Captain Marvel, Hannah, and maybe Shadow. I don't know. So check those out. I don't know. Idris Elba says out of work DJ doesn't sound too great to me. Now, not many reviews, but I have one review this past week. I got some new appliances, Charles. And nice,
Yeah, I saw him.
nice stainless steel, new fridge and new oven. My old oven, I had to use a lighter to ignite all the
All the
burners.
igniters are
Yeah, so I don't have to do that now, and it's got the nice griddle in the middle. Got them from Best Buy.
Kate
Best Buy.
Beckinsale sales in The Widow.
That's it. I couldn't think of her name.
That's my girl.
Yeah, I got a Whirlpool
Thinking
fridge.
Pete Davidson or something
I
like
got a
that right
crush
now.
on her, man.
Awful.
Anyway,
Anyway, a Whirlpool fridge and what else?
and I got a GE stove. Both work great. You know, it was
All
best
stainless steel.
stainless steel. 18-month financing on it from Best Buy. The whole process is great. They nickel and dime you a little bit. Okay, they're gonna give you free delivery, but then it's $20 each appliance to pick up your old appliances to take
Yeah.
out. That's $40 there on the hood. So that's $60 there. Then it's $20 a device to hook up to put new gas lines in and stuff. That I kind of understand. Plus, you got to pay for the parts. So the water line's $30, the gas line's $30,
Jeez.
and then the hookup is $20 and $20. So you're like, that's almost $100
Jeez.
extra dollars.
Yeah.
So they kind of nickel and dime you a little bit on that stuff. But I mean, I guess I could have done it myself, but I'm lazy. But other than that, it was a great experience. Best Buy, if you're looking for appliances, you can't go to Sears anymore. They're pretty
Yeah, I
much,
was gonna say.
yeah, I don't know. So
Kenmore is no longer with
and,
us.
and Home Depot will only give you 6 months financing, where Lowe's will give you a year. Lowe's or Best Buy would be my guess.
I want to say our stove came from Best Buy and stuff like that, and our over the range microwave came from Best Buy.
and
Yeah.
they're pretty good. The only knock I have a little bit, the Whirlpool, the fridge, it runs a little louder than our old one. Like
You
always
can hear it firing up. and stuff
It'll
like
yeah,
that?
it'll shut off and like go silent for long periods.
And the
of time.
problem with at your
then it-
house is that your kitchen flows into your living room.
there's no
so-
wall in between.
Yeah.
So if you're sleeping on the couch, like my wife, that might bug you a little bit.
Ah.
Back in the bedroom, you're not going to hear nothing. It's fine.
Yeah, if you
but-
slept in your bed, you'd have no issues.
yeah. So, but other than that, I highly recommend the whole experience at Best Buy was nice. If you got
Best
money.
Buy is a good place to buy appliances.
Yeah. Now I will say the one in Allen Park is a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid, knew nothing. I asked him everything. This one come with a griddle? I don't. It's not on there. I don't know. Then we went to the one in Southland when we actually bought them. It was a girl. She was probably in her mid-30s. She knew everything. She knew how to. So yeah, it depends on the salesperson you
Yeah.
get there. So there you go.
But to the point, I don't think Best Buy salespeople are commissioned. Is that? I don't
No,
think
they're
are.
not. They're not.
So the young bro didn't care.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he should have been working at the video game section, not in the appliance section. So for news this week, if you are Rob, do you have Amazon Prime or you just got the Fire
I
Stick?
do
and
have
cheap?
I do have Prime.
Yes. Now I don't know if you caught it, but I watched the first season of The Tick,
Oh yeah.
and it was about.
Is it not with Patrick Warburton
No,
anymore?
no,
I was going to
no.
ask that. Yeah.
I know you know the guy if you saw him who plays
Okay.
The Tick.
He was
He's a tall
in-
French guy.
He was in.
He was in that
Gerard Depardieu.
No,
is-
yeah.
No,
He was in that
no,
spy movie,
no.
Melissa McCarthy. He played the one weird,
Okay.
quirky guy, the French guy that would show up in that
Couples
movie.
Retreat. He was in Couples
Yeah.
Retreat, where Vince Vaughn had to play him in Guitar Hero.
Yeah, he always shows up as
Okay.
bit parts in comedies. But anyway, it wasn't bad. It was pretty entertaining. It was 6 episodes. I still personally like the '90s cartoon of the Tick. I thought
yes,
this show is still not close to that, but it is.
it's closer than the other show that they tried to do.
That's the Patrick Warburton one.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Their heart was in the right place, but their pocketbooks were not.
Yeah.
And I understand.
So this one's not bad. It returns April 5th, and like I said, there are only 6.
So this is season 2?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
season
got
2.
Jackie
But it was
Lee
a
Hurley
long-
in it too.
Did you watch the first season?
Yes, I did.
It's been a long. What was that? Like a year and a half ago? It's a long time between seasons.
it's been a year and some change.
Some of these streaming services take a lot of time between seasons. It's like
And then
and
some
they
of them
only
come out real
did.
quick.
They only
Yeah.
did like 5 or 8
and
episodes
and they staggered it.
per
Yeah.
part there. Yeah, and now they're like, oh, well, we're gonna drop a whole season now.
But the '90s cartoon's still
Yes.
the best. But this is probably second best if you like the Tick.
Yeah, dude,
I do
wanted to
like.
yell
They play
spoon,
this
man.
one where Tick is kind of like Arthur's kind of like thinking the Tick up. Like a lot of them don't believe the Tick's real, and just
Oh,
Arthur's
yeah,
thinking up.
yeah.
Like his
It's-
sister
it's
just
a-
thinks he's nuts.
It's a whole mind,
Yeah.
mind thing. Yeah,
So
because
there you go.
it made me feel like it for a little bit there too. Like, wait, is he in his mind?
yeah. That's
And I'm like,
like a
no,
Sixth
come
Sense
on,
kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
all of a sudden, you know,
near the end of the season, you realize he's real.
yes, I'm like, thank
Yeah. So there's a new dog out, Charles. I know you don't. You're not big on dogs.
I actually know about this.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a
I read
robotic
Engadget
dog by
daily.
Sony.
It's called the Ibo.
Yeah. Now it's only $3,000 only.
I want the robots in the Main Street
What?
studio.
You were talking about robots,
$3,000?
and I thought a robotic dog might be your next step. No, not your next
No.
step.
no.
If you read about it, it has the weird. It's like it's not ready for prime time. Basically, if you read the article,
so you'd
yeah.
have a glitched
It's
out
still
robot.
attacking people.
Yeah,
like,
it's awful.
yeah, Skynet. Yeah, that's who built
Sparks
it.
start kind of shooting from it.
Exactly.
The Ibo's been around for a while. This is just the newest iteration of it too. So like that Ibo, that Sony Ibo, has been around for quite a bit of time.
Oh wow! This is the first I've seen of it. I haven't been following robotic news very much, so I just thought it was
I
funny.
get all the newsletters.
because you're so into robots and
Yeah.
stuff. You can have them with your Chewbacca. You have a little robot and Chewbacca have a
Oh,
talk.
Lord.
So there you go. You can have your Roomba and a robotic dog.
$3,000, man.
Yeah, no thanks.
Now, Rob, do you play games at all? Video games?
Yes, I do.
What you got? PS4, Xbox?
I have PS4. I have like a PS3. I have a 360. Let's
She got a
see.
17-year-old son, so
I
yeah.
have,
he's all game.
I have my Sega Genesis, Nintendo.
So you've
Super
been
Nintendo,
buying
yeah.
physical discs of games for a while.
Yes, yes.
So now you're close to our age group. So for years, all I heard was, when games go digital, we're going to save tons and tons of money, right? Everything's going to be cheaper because they don't need the plastic box. They don't need the
never
directions.
heard that.
Well, they've been touting that for years.
Of course.
They were going to pass the savings on to you.
Yeah. Well, I say bullshit.
I'm
There's
not-
been no
yeah,
savings.
I'm calling bullshit as well because they're
I-
just jacking up the prices
Yeah.
on the games no matter what.
One thing Charles did years ago is he introduced me to a fight stick controller.
Yeah.
And ever since it's been like crack. Every fighting game comes out, I need it to play on my fight
Horny
stick.
fighting
And
stick.
so
yeah.
I've been looking at a lot of old fighting games, like Tekken 7. It's not really
Yes.
that old. It came out a year or so ago.
Yeah.
The physical copy of Tekken 7, if you look at BestBuy.com, is $19.99. The digital copy on the same website is $59.99.
Oh, so this is through Best Buy. It's still
Yes.
$60. Wow.
So
I
there-
thought this was Sony store versus physical.
No, this is right on the same website in the same list.
Why?
And the same thing. I don't know. Dragon Ball Z.
How do they not check that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I
how
know.
do they not?
Well, it's a lot of now, except for Steam. If PC players out there, I know there's a lot of good deals on Steam. But far as the digital PlayStation and Xbox, they are not cheaper than buying physical.
agree.
There is no discounts. I've proven it time and again. The Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z.
The crazy part about the physical too is if you bought it for $20, you could turn around, play it for a bunch of time, and sell it
Yeah.
for $10,
Yeah.
and actually
Yeah,
have
yeah.
something to pay
Exactly.
it forward.
Yes,
with.
yes.
It's crazy.
But more and more people scream up and down about digital. and-
But there
it's all
are
about
what
money.
I think is happening is we're lazy as Americans, and I just want to sit at home and say, "Give me that." You know what I mean?
Instead of putting the disc in the actual machine,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
hey,
set it
all I
and
have
forget
to
it.
do is turn it on and connect it to the internet.
and
I'm ready.
yeah,
we're
but for an
just-
extra $30,
Yeah,
you
well,
can
we're
save
kind of bad. So
$40,
like,
I should say.
we've been renting a lot of movies through the Apple TV stuff because when I get stuff from Family Video, I'm too lazy to take them back sometimes.
And how much is Apple TV rentals?
$5.99?
Yeah, I was going to rent Vice digitally.
But that's not bad.
Family Video is like $3 $3.
Yeah,
$3.
But I still feel that that's not.
It's
like
not
a
atrocious,
horrible price.
but I'm saying, like, if I wasn't a lazy POS, I'd just go and get it from Family Video and save $3.
Yeah.
You're correct. Yeah.
I don't know.
So the digital world is not saving us any money.
No.
I'm sorry. It's
no,
not.
They're hitting you up for
it's
that
not.
convenience.
They're only going
And
to charge us more. Why? Because technology, the crispness of the televisions.
Yeah, but I would argue
and,
that you need faster internet, as we've
True.
experienced here on
True.
the podcast. Though,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, so to what end on the internet?
And
You
in
know what
5
I'm
years,
saying?
there'll be no physical copies of games, so we'll all be
Yeah.
screwed anyways, and nobody will be saving any money. Now, my last one is a rant. All right, I know we don't cover
all right.
politics.
Okay.
And I told Charles about this yesterday. Trump, you love him, you hate him, whatever. I don't care. That's not the point. The point is, I can't turn the goddamn news on without them going on for an hour about how he did this, this, and this, for or against.
Yep.
Here's what I'm saying to everybody right now. Fire the fucker or leave him alone. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's get it over with.
Lord,
I don't need
Rip the Band-Aid
37 news reports on Michael
But
Cohen.
to play devil's advocate,
Okay.
if it were as easy and as cut and dry as you just said, and the world agreed that these are the parameters that we're going to do, then every time a Republican got elected, the Democrats just jump on it until they kicked him out, and then vice versa. So,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
you have to make it difficult. You have to prove without a shadow of a doubt.
Which they're not
that-
going to do.
Well, and that's what it boils down to.
I just it's so
it just-
tiring.
I
every
agreed.
day.
And the
It's like,
only way to fix that is to stop watching the news.
Yes. I mean, Charles was talking about
yeah, I
that.
just
So
can't
before I
do
go to
it.
work, just watch some reruns of Kings of Queens.
Yeah, watch King Queens,
Or
have a
Parks
good
and Rec.
laugh. Yeah.
Park and Rex is on FXX.
Love
Yeah, I watch
Ron
that.
Swanson. Check in on Andy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
check in on all that and have a good laugh and get the heck out of the house before you leave the house depressed. I just, man.
I know
news.
Rob can't leave depressed. He's got an hour drive. He's got to be
Oh
happy in the
yeah,
morning.
I gotta be up on the up and up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
So-
like, I feel you on that though. Like, and you brought the right, I feel like, person on the show to talk politics, because I'm not a huge politic person, and like, yeah, I'm shit or get off the pot.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at with it. Shit or get off the pot.
And they
But
don't.
you can't.
And I was
that's-
talking with my fiance about what's going on with France right now, and in how they're protesting all like the taxes going up and stuff like that. Like, they're rioting.
But that's the funny part too, right? So like somehow me and my wife got tons more loot back on taxes.
Right on.
But meanwhile, like you read all these reports, all these people are getting screwed over on their taxes.
But it just worked for you in some weird
yeah,
way.
like what just
Like,
happened? Like,
how should I feel about
Jesus,
this? I
man,
get it.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I got more money though. How should I feel? Yeah.
So that's going to wrap us up for this week. I'd like to thank our special guest, Rob, and thank you for
thanks
being
for
here.
having me.
Hope you
guys.
weren't
Yeah,
too
it was
bored.
a blast. No, it was great. Yeah.
And then, of course, you can catch the podcast on Google Play or Apple iTunes, Alexa, Google Home, wherever you can find music or sound, you can find our podcast. And then catch you next week. And this is Steve and
Charles.
signing off, and adios.